Vacation of pledge by Commissioner McDonald.
Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day to be counted amongst the living and not amongst the dead. We thank you for this workshop that we're about to embark upon and the business at hand that we're considering. And we pray that all that we do will be pleasing in your sight. We ask that we are able to reason together and to make the decisions that will be most beneficial to our city. We ask all these prayers in your Son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we have a roll call by clerk, please?
Mayor Babb, Vice Mayor Sanquera Cowan Williams, Commissioner McPherson,
Present.
Commissioner McDonald,
Present.
Commissioner Scott,
Present.
City Manager, City Attorney,
Here.
City Clerk, present.
We're going to move forward with our agenda. The topic of this agenda, this workshop, is the business of the month criteria. We're going to open for discussion. I guess we're going to have a brief explanation by. Do we need an explanation by our attorney on this? Just
It would be the manager.
okay, by city manager. I'm sorry.
Okay, in reference to this particular, item, it's just that the commissioners wanted to decide on a criteria for the business of the month. Are we gonna, I don't know if we're gonna do business of the month or business of the quarter, I guess it's business of the month. The mayor had asked that we have the business of the month, and so discussion is needed by you all to decide the criteria of how you're going to choose your businesses.
Okay. Yes, now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ms. McDonald had some questions and some concerns about the criteria, and we'll just open up for discussion for each commissioner, but we'll start with her.
And if I may, Commissioner McDonald, on the sheet that the clerk prepared, it does have some proposed eligibility requirements. So they mentioned, I'll read those to you all. Business must be physically located within the city of Pahokee municipal limits, must possess a current and valid active business tax receipt and all required licenses, permits, must be in good standing with the city, no outside code violations, unpaid fees, or delinquent taxes, must have been in continuous operation for a minimum of 6 months, must not have been selected as business of the month within the previous 12 months. So those are some proposed eligibility requirements listed on this page.
Okay. First of all, let me just set the record straight.
I wasn't sure, so I think Mayor Babb had asked for the meeting, but I think
Yeah,
I think you had added.
I did interject
But I know it's all of
that
this.
we do need to have a criteria, because I asked that question several times before, prior to being positioned and seated on this dais. So it's only fair that we have criteria, because we don't want to be willy-nilly about it and choosing the same people all the time, unless there's just quite a disparaging difference in the way that they're presenting their business as opposed to the way others are presenting theirs. So I only ask that, we establish a criteria so that we can avoid having to explain ourselves with regards to any questions that we might receive from the citizens. So it's not something that I personally am asking for. I just think it's only fair that we do have a criteria. I do have a business, and I've been in operation since 2021 and have maintained my business tax certificate since then. and I've never been selected. So I just want to know and understand that we do have a criteria in place for that. So that's my only take on it.
And I was looking at one of the things that you have on the 12 months. Could someone give us an estimate? I mean, do we have a number of businesses that, how many numbers?
Yes, a whole bunch of them. I didn't realize we had that many businesses in Pahokee.
Excuse me, I placed a packet with the email the city clerk sent you, and it has proposed eligibility criteria here, and it has the list of businesses as well. So the packet that you had on,
Yeah, that's what I was speaking of, is I didn't
Okay.
realize we had this many
Yeah, it looks
businesses.
like it says 1 to
100, it's
108.
almost 200 businesses.
198 records.
Well,
So-
some of them on here twice.
Some of them are on here twice.
May I?
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
Some of them may be there more than twice because they have two classifications
Oh, okay.
in the same business. Like Save-A-Lot has 2, 3 different ones, one for the
And
merchant.
I have 3 too, so I do understand that.
Yes, okay.
And also, you may not, everybody may not have a storefront. Some people may have businesses they operate out of their home.
That's in here too.
Oh, it is.
And so,
I done saw voting community impact
Yeah, and-
in here 3 times.
and then also on your packet, in addition to the eligibility requirements, she also has listed proposed evaluation criteria to go along with that. However you want to decide to take it from there.
It was. It's not.
I don't
Yeah.
foresee an issue with any of the requirements that are listed here. I don't know, maybe somebody has some that they want to add, but we just need to, like I said, establish a criteria and ensure that we're consistent with making sure that the business meets that criteria. I don't know if there's a checklist that we use whenever we select them or how that works, but certainly wouldn't take an act of God to create one.
I think, look, when I looked at it, like this just come up and they'll just select, I guess, what commissioner, each commissioner was taking turns just select, you know.
That's fine too. I mean.
No, I'm just saying, I'd rather, like what you say, I'd rather have a
Yeah,
criteria
but we
be
do need
eligible.
to make sure that the
Yeah.
criteria is followed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
because-
think
I
that-
have a question though, we're talking about the criteria for community involvement. So in order to get the business of the month, like, say for instance, participation in local events, sponsorships, or charitable and city initiatives. So you're saying if they don't do any of this, they're not allowed to be a city, they're not allowed to be a business of the month?
So,
That's proposed.
I mean, that's the way I would interpret it. So we definitely would need to ensure that we put that out so that they know what's going to be required of them if they're selected, prior to them being selected, business of the month. So to be eligible, all of these criteria listed here must be met. But when we do our evaluation, I would say at least a couple of those criteria that, you know, are in addition to the eligibility requirements should also be met. So, you know, that way maybe someone would be motivated or inspired or however to participate beyond opening and closing the door of their business.
And I think.
So can they just explain to me when they say civic initiatives, what are they expecting from the business
I
when they
think
put
what
this on here, when they say civic initiatives?
I think what Ms. Clark did, she just gave you all some proposed, it's whatever you all want to add or delete, she just sent out some proposals. So is she, it's completely up to you all to add, delete, or discuss, but Ms. Clark was just
So we
trying
can
to
create
put
our own
something together for you.
So what
agenda,
do they mean
what
by
we need.
more civic initiatives? What would that be?
Involved in any type of public improvement or the betterment of the city of Pahokee as a whole, like not necessarily being political about it, but helping to advance.
So that's what I said, I
Whatever.
think we should be specific so they can at least know what it is that we're expecting of them. And say, for instance, like if they don't ever do any sponsorships, like are we going around, are we asking this, we got over 100 and some businesses, are we asking them, so if they don't volunteer, and say they don't meet the requirement, any of the others, and they don't do a sponsorship or any of that, we're gonna hold that against them? Or are we gonna be responsible for asking them for sponsorships?
That's what I'm saying.
My
We need to,
suggestion, when we look at that part about community involvement, maybe not all of those, but at least have one of those.
One or
Either
two
they
of them.
participate in local events, sponsorship, or charitable and civic initiatives.
Yeah,
So
I
can
would
we add
suggest
just
that
us
we
to
take
have
off
at least one?
sponsorship, because that's really not appropriate.
Right,
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering, like, can we make?
yeah,
I
because
was
you
thinking-
can't
Make-
compel
that's what I was
them
asking.
to.
Right, so can we hold that again, so can we just say must
Take
have
the
at least one?
sponsorship out.
Take sponsorship out
Because
and
it's
have,
like
must
you're
have
asking
at
for
least one.
money.
What is charitable? With charitable or sponsorship, we can take both of those out, we can't,
I mean, charitable can be a whole lot of
charitable can
things.
be
It could
different,
Yeah.
okay, with sponsorship, okay.
No, I'm saying charitable, I think, is more vague. It can be a lot of different things. Sponsorship is
Specific.
Sponsors,
Yeah.
this could be services and all of that, okay, thanks. Okay, customer service, demonstrate professionalism, quality service, and positive community feedback. How would we be able to keep up with the positive feedback that they give? How would we be able to do that?
I mean, it shouldn't be done in secret if they're gonna, make that type of a contribution. For instance, if they're at an event and you notice that they're there, if you know them to be a business, it's something that you should at least be making a mental note of and be able to speak to that in the event that they're selected or considered for Business of the Month. So whoever the person is that's responsible for making the selection or providing the selection for us to vote on that month, should, maybe you want to keep a pen and pad with you so you can, just make a note of some things when you're out and about. That's just my take.
I think if each commissioner is picking one, I think when you were saying do the criteria, I think we need to just pick certain things, certain criteria that we expect from each person, because each business is gonna be different. So just make it, like she said, kind of vague and not put all this stuff in there. Just pick certain things. As long as they meet that, then you can pick one of those businesses.
And the thing is too, if you're responsible for making this selection that month,
Right. Mhm.
and either one of us see a business out participating and engaging, we can certainly provide that information to you to help you if it's your turn to make the
Yeah, give you something else to look at.
selection.
But either everybody come back with one each month, but each one of us take turn. I mean, each time each one of us, but it'd be your choice. Whether just in case I don't have one, then y'all do. I can pick from either one of you, the one that y'all selected. I can just choose one of those if I don't really have one. You understand? Either every quarter, every month, somebody may not have one that. Cause some of these businesses in here I didn't even know exist till I looked in this paper. I'm just being real with you.
We got this many.
Well, the only thing I would suggest is if you do that, you have some kind of process where it has to go in
Right,
to
right. That's what I'm
by a
talking about,
certain
yeah.
time, because you can't talk, obviously can't communicate outside of the meeting, so.
No, I was talking about in the meeting. They can just
Right.
give me a.
Oh, I
I mean,
see.
we come to the meeting, you just can give a name of a business that you suggest, not that, but it's still gonna be up to that commissioner to select which one he or she would like to select.
And then you would be the one presenting it.
Right, yeah.
Whoever it is, right?
Uh-huh.
So you're saying that all of the commissioners come up with different businesses and then choose from?
No, well,
Hence that
normally if you,
checklist.
if that particular person-
checklist would be good.
Yeah.
If we all completed a checklist once we got here and provided it to the person that's going to be presenting the business of the month, and then let them choose, since they are the one that's responsible for making the selection that month, and then we
well,
would
more
take
like
it
if
to
they
vote.
have one, they're gonna choose the one that they chose, but I'm just saying if they
Not
don't have,
necessarily. I mean, cause
okay.
if you got a checklist, and maybe the one I'm giving you has got more checks.
Yeah, be there when you get ready to take your turn.
Could you do it then like that the month before? And then, so while you're presenting one, everybody does it, that way you have a paper trail that you can put as a part of the packet.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion, so we won't be under any pressure to,
So, yeah,
do what needs to be
But-
done in that meeting.
and the
It could be
businesses,
for the
and the
following.
businesses know that next month they are candidates for being picked. Yeah.
So I have a question. We have a list of all of these, but no addresses or anything, so I mean, they're just names. I mean, how would we know where to go to, even if we wanted to look at some of these businesses?
Well,
Do we have any
if it's a,
addresses for them?
if it's a business, and I'm assuming these are all verified by the Division of Corporations and, website, and if that's the case, it should be online, like you should be able to pull up, Sunshine, whatever it is.
So the
Florida
city doesn't
Sunshine.
have it where we can get these since they're in the city of Pahokee? You know what I'm saying? Like if I wanna go
Business
to
tax issue.
referendum, who is this, one of these on here? How, if I wanna go and check their business out or look at their business, we can get a copy of all the addresses from, who is the company?
Public records.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Who we get it from, Polanco?
Public records.
Yeah. They can provide the commission with a copy of all of them, so at least we can have them.
That way you like I say, you can go and visit and look.
Yeah.
Because some of them I never heard of, so.
Right, at least we can go to them, that's why I thought we should get a list of them with their addresses and, at least their addresses on here.
Kurt,
From the division.
Or some
Well, you know what, you all, Ms. Polanco was just saying that, her department gave these names to the clerk. And
Based
so,
upon her request.
and so I'm thinking that you all should probably, if you got them from the Division of Corporations, you probably have a more complete list. I don't know how they can extract, I'm sure there's some way.
Yeah,
because I see
that's
that-
gonna
I
be
see
so
that.
time
Yeah, we will
consuming.
find so many that may not have a business and they are operating somehow. These are the ones that are registered with the
That
city.
come in and
That's what I'm saying
actually
with the
pay
city.
the
You
business
give-
tax receipt.
Yeah.
and,
Our department
So they
was
don't-
requested for a list of active businesses without addresses. That's how the request was placed to us. So
But she can give you with the addresses.
we could provide the addresses to whoever,
Yeah.
just send an email to the clerk and we will provide it to her, so she.
So you talking about individually and not as a list?
Oh.
She can give you a list with
Okay.
the addresses. This was
Okay.
done because they just, the request that was made was just for the names.
Okay,
But she
okay.
said they
And
keep it
active
with the
businesses.
addresses.
I would think so, but, okay, just for point of clarification.
I have another suggestion too, just a suggestion where it says customer service and reputation, says demonstrate professionalism, quality of service, and positive community. Why don't we change the word "and" to "or"?
Where is that at?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what you spell that
Under
at?
customer
Customer
Okay, I
service and
see it.
reputation.
Demonstrate professional quality of service and positive community.
Right on there says where it's proposed evaluation criteria have community involvement, then customer service and reputation.
So, do we wanna say under the, proposed evaluation criteria, don't just say must have at least one? They don't have to have all of them, or are we saying they need to have them all?
Because
No,
to
I
me,
was saying at least
I kinda
one or
lump
two.
professionalism and quality of
At
service.
least a
all
couple,
the same.
because we got 5 criteria here. At least a couple.
Okay. Even in the top one too, where we put.
No,
say one,
those are requirements.
For both of them. You're gonna have
Proposed
addresses.
eligibility requirements, that
You
right
got to
there.
have those to be.
They have to have all of those.
That's what I'm saying, so from each one, they gotta have all of them?
No,
No, just for the proposed.
Just,
eligibility.
the proposed eligibility requirements, yes.
Right,
'Cause
yes,
they,
those
you
I
know,
understand, yes,
those.
yes.
But if we're
I
just
was talking about the
looking
evaluation.
for
Criteria.
some points to evaluate them on, I would say in that list of, criteria, at least 2 of them,
At least
a
two.
minimum of 2.
At least two.
I mean, I think we would be hard pressed to say they gotta meet all 5 of those criteria. Because, I mean, who does that?
But just to get clarification, in the community involvement, we're gonna take out the sponsorship, just
Yes.
participation in local events or charitable and civic initiatives. And customer service and reputation, we're gonna use demonstrate professionalism or quality of service or positive community feedback. And when you're saying 2, are you talking about specifically in the customer service? Or are you talking about combined with the other stuff above, like the community involvement?
No,
I'm
either
thinking
one
your
of those,
checklist, at least
either
one, something out of each category.
the bullet points, you know, you should be able to articulate that this business has demonstrated, you know, some of that. We're
Yes,
not
that's-
saying that everything there with the, you know, for that particular bullet point, has to be, present or identified or so on and so forth.
Okay.
And I mean, it should be a place on the checklist for comments too, so that you can articulate further either one of those characteristics that you're saying that they possess.
We'll put comments at the bottom, so there has one that we can comment, okay. Well, that's a checklist, okay. I like that. I like that.
So again, we each would be responsible for taking care of who will present at the meeting, who the next month candidates will be, and then we will vote at the meeting.
I think that was a question too. Well, we going monthly or quarterly?
Well, we,
But are we gonna
I think they
vote,
said
or
we have enough.
are we gonna have a rotating list with each commissioner like we did before?
yeah, I mean, don't put it all,
Y'all take a month and rotate.
Yeah, every month we have someone.
yeah, somebody different would, you know, take on that task.
Yeah.
And,
Because I think
Rotate.
Val normally look at the sheet in the order, the alphabetical order. I think that's how he just normally stick to that.
That's
Go in
easy.
alphabetical order, of the names, like he would be first.
that's easy.
We did it like that before, so we can stick to that. That makes it easier for each
But
one.
I think her suggestion as far as, I mean, the attorney's suggestion as far as the, doing it a month ahead in case that person didn't have somebody, we already have established list that we can choose from,
Mhm.
or that
Oh,
person
yeah.
can choose from that
Yeah,
particular
I think that would be good.
list. I'm just trying to make sure I got a clear understanding of it.
So really, all of us will be doing something every month and bringing it back. It
And
just
bet-
won't be that one person looking at it.
And the decision will be made the previous month for the one that will be selected,
For the next month. to have
right,
time
based
to
on what we come up with. You know, like, for instance, if we were doing it tonight, then the list would be, the checklist will be provided to the person that's gonna be presenting the business that is going to be considered for the business of the month, and then we would vote on it the next meeting.
Right, so we'll do them at the end, always at the last meeting of that month.
Wherever it falls on the agenda.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
we'll have to, because we gotta look at it at
I
one of
think we
the
need to go to
meetings, yeah.
first because a lot of the last gonna run into some holidays and you ain't gonna make it here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that last city council meeting kind of falls on them holidays.
No, but I'm saying it still gotta be on the agenda.
You know what I'm saying? But we can put it on the agenda, but I think.
We just need to take into account those meetings that we won't
Yeah, that's what we
be
should.
having.
Okay,
And
But I'd rather do
from
that
those,
at the
we
first,
can- maybe we can
because we
choose two
don't,
for that.
normally we have them on the first. We always have them on the first. If we presented them on the
Oh,
first, I
yeah,
think it'd
the
be,
first meeting you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, we always have them on the first.
And then those short meetings, since all of us is doing one, maybe instead of picking one, we'll have to pick
Do
two.
two.
We know another month, a one meeting when it's coming up. So that'll work out. And so they're gonna put this in a checklist form.
That's what I think would be
We
best.
need to define, go through it and read it and define exactly what we want, so
Yeah.
they can document it properly.
So in a checklist form, under community and involvement, they'll have a check space for participation in local events. Then they'll have another checkbox for charitable and another checkbox for civic initiatives, right? That's what we're saying, like that, right? So we're all in agreement with that. Then we'll do the same thing for customer service and reputation. Checkbox for demonstrating professionalism, checkbox for quality service, and a checkbox for for positive community feedback. Okay, then on the next one, we'll pretty much do the same thing. Now, job creation, how will we know how many jobs?
How many employees they have?
Job creation, retention, and partnership that benefit the local economy, because doesn't necessarily mean, that means that they hiring from Pahokee. We can't, I guess we would go in and ask them.
You can say how many employees they
That's
have.
just a criteria, a characteristic. And you can always ask,
Yeah.
or if you're looking at that business, then of course you're gonna familiarize yourself with what it is they're doing to impact the community in a positive way. And so, yeah,
Yeah, you can compare a home daycare to Head Start, because they do the same thing. It's just one gonna have 1 or 2 employees and one gonna have 6 or 7 employees. But they all do the same services.
Well, I don't think we, I understand what you're saying, don't put a number to the, even if it's just one person, that still count as
Because a lot of these,
job creation.
a lot of these is just one person's businesses.
I see what you're saying.
so now, the way I would interpret that, it's one thing they're a business owner, but I would be looking at that as if, whether or not it's ongoing.
Yeah, I
And,
think in the top, it did say something about 6 months for business of the month. It talks about,
That's been
That's
operation for.
No, I'm
6
talking about
months,
the
yeah.
job
For
creation,
job creation, it's like,
I think there should be bonus points for somebody that apply. That we looking at. If I select Ms. Cowan, she don't just have a daycare, and Mike Ferguson got a whole business where he got a whole staff. To me, I would be looking, they, to me, bring more to the community. That would be one of my first selections, is somebody that does that than just somebody who's, got 3 children and 4 kids that they keep every day.
I guess I was thinking about job creation. Are we talking about hiring from the city or just
No,
jobs?
just
period,
jobs.
No matter where
Ain't-
they-
no, where-
it's pretty vast. I think that, we can't just be, have tunnel vision when it comes,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, they're open-minded, whatever you feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so we'll do a box for job creation / retention, and then we'll do a box for partnership that benefit the local economy. So we'll have 2 boxes for that one. Okay, for the next one, business integrity and compliance, we'll have a box for adherence to applicable laws. And we'll have a box for regulations and a box for ethical business practices.
why don't we put all of those,
Yeah,
instead of
I was
having
gonna
all the
say,
different
yeah.
boxes, those categories, have one box with all of those going across.
So like this one
with
right
each
here,
category, yes.
for business and integrity compliant.
Yes, to make, yes.
Okay. Okay. And then for property appearance and maintenance, we'll have a box for cleanliness, a box for safety, and a box for compliance with city codes and signage standards. And so what, I don't know the signage standards. What are the signage standards? We will get something on that to make sure that.
Do your homework.
I mean, we're putting it on here, so I'm saying signage standard, I mean, everybody have signs in front of their businesses, or what's, I guess we have a code on signage standards, Palaka? We do?
We do.
So-
We do, and we've seen that some of the businesses either don't have a sign, or they have a sign that is not very legible anymore, like you cannot hardly read it, or, you know,
Okay.
the quality of the sign.
Signs, okay. Okay, so we'll have a box for each one of them, okay. Sounds good. Oh, and then comments at the bottom. Then comments at the bottom, we said we'll have comments at the bottom. All right, that's it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Looks good to everyone?
Yeah, I think we just make sure we go, the clerk, make sure she understands, what we just discussed, or whoever's gonna formulate the checklist,
The
make sure,
checklist.
you know, I don't know if she wanna regurgitate to one.
Now, Lena review the meeting and she'll.
And
I'm
then-
taking notes, and maybe if I didn't take all the notes that you guys were discussing, she's gonna go through the recording,
Okay.
and she told me to just try to take, I mean, I'm not supposed to take minutes and stuff, but I am taking notes.
Okay. And
So, once the, checklist is, prepared,
Mhm.
We will have an opportunity to review and approve it prior to implementation, correct?
You will, it can come back to you in the form of a resolution. So they're gonna do their staff report for it, they'll send it to me, I'll create the resolution, and then you'll vote, you'll have it on the agenda to vote on.
And then once we vote on it, then they will make sure that all the businesses get it and understand what the requirements are, so that there won't be no complaints that they didn't know, so.
Well, if that's what you all want to do as a separate notice, but generally it would be just whatever you vote on and it's public record and information. But if you're tasking the staff with, the additional thing of notifying all the businesses, that's something you all can agree to do. Absolutely.
I think we need to take on that responsibility of notifying the businesses what we're doing, because they're not gonna have any input in it. It's a decision that
No, I'm
we're
saying
making.
just to let them know that, this is what we'll be
The
using
meeting-
in case they
The
wanted to.
meeting is online, and plus we can do a notice during the meeting to let them know
We
that
can post that
this
on
will
the
be done. It will be
website or
posted on the
something like
website
that.
and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Y'all ain't gonna overwork me.
Could we just post, like, once we approve the checklist, just post that on the website,
no
like a
problem.
public notice or something like that? I think that'll be good.
Okay.
Say that again, I'm sorry, I was talking.
Once we look at the criteria and make a decision on it, just post it on the webpage as a public notice, instead of trying to notify each and every
Oh,
business
yeah.
that they wanna look at.
I ain't in favor of all that noticing.
Yeah. Yes.
Any more discussion?
May I? I am so sorry if I pass this under the proposed eligibility requirements. The first two, all these businesses are within the city limits,
Yes.
all the ones in the list. The second one, which it says, must to possess a current and valid business tax receipt, they are all active. So that means that we got all the licenses that are required to operate in the city of Pahokee. Just wanted to clarify
Yes.
those 2 points right there.
Oh, yeah.
And all of them on here are in good standing with no code violations or unpaid
Well-
fees, right?
Only one and two, only the first one and the second one, I can say that's this list.
Okay, that'll be something that we'll need to verify
It'll
prior
be
to.
yes, excuse me. It'll
I'm
be
sorry.
based upon your decision. You can come to us and request, information if there's any code violations, which you'll be able to respond accordingly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Since there is no more discussion, we don't have to do a vote, do we have to do a vote to close?
No, this is a workshop.
This is a
Just-
workshop.
You can just agree by consensus.
Any more discussion, or no more discussion? Meeting is adjourned for this workshop. We will resume for the meeting. This meeting to order at 6 o'clock. We're gonna first have our invocation by Commissioner McDonald, then our pledge of allegiance.
Dear Lord, we thank you again for this time together as we convene to conduct the city's business. We ask that you bring us together on one accord as we address the issues and provide solutions that we may progress Pahokee. We thank you for giving us this opportunity. We thank you for those that are present, and we ask that we all allow ourselves to be governed according to your will. We ask all these blessings in your Son Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab, Vice Mayor Cowan Williams,
Present.
Commissioner McDonald,
Present.
Commissioner McPherson,
Present.
Commissioner Scott,
Present.
City Manager,
Present.
City Attorney,
Here.
Interim City Clerk, City Clerk,
Thank you.
present.
At this time, Interim Manager, do we have any additions or emergency, deletion or emergency basis?
No.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have presentations and proclamations, public service announcements. Do we have any, public service announcements for agenda items only?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. First proclamation we have is a proclamation for March 9th through the 15th, 2026 as a flood awareness week. Will you read the proclamation for the attorney?
Yes, Vice Mayor. Whereas Pahokee has experienced severe weather events in the past, including extreme rainfall and tropical systems that have resulted in significant flooding. This flooding has affected both coastal and riverine areas, causing damage and losses of homes and buildings across all flood zones, including high-risk special flood hazard areas as well as low to moderate risk zones. And whereas the City of Pahokee is a voluntary participant in the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, that provides residents with the opportunity to protect themselves against flood loss through the purchase of flood insurance at reduced insurance premium rates, as well as setting the higher regulatory standards to reduce the flood risk and potential flood damage to their property. And whereas the reduction of loss of life and property damage can be achieved when appropriate flood preparation, control, and mitigation measures are taken before a flood. And whereas public education and awareness of potential weather hazards and methods of protection are critical to health, safety, and welfare of residents, the Florida Floodplain Managers Association has declared the week of March 9th through the 15th, 2026 as Flood Awareness Week to promote awareness and increase knowledge of flood risk, the availability of flood insurance, flood protection methods, and how to prepare for emergencies. Now therefore, I, Keith W. Babb Jr., Mayor of the City of Pahokee, Florida, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim the week of March 9th through the 15th, 2026 as Flood Awareness Week in official recognition whereof I hereto set my hand and cause the seal of Pahokee to be affixed on this 24th day of February 2026. Mayor Keith W. Babb Jr., Vice Mayor Sanquetta Cowan Williams, Commissioner Isabel J. McDonald, Commissioner Everett D. McPherson Sr., and Commissioner James H. Scott.
Is anyone here to accept this proclamation? Okay, we'll make sure that the necessary parties get this proclamation. Okay, the next proclamation we have is March 2026 as Florida Bicycle Month. Can you read it for the record?
Yes, Madam Vice Mayor. Whereas the City of Pahokee residents and visitors engage in bicycling as a practical form of transportation and a valuable means of physical activity and recreation. And whereas the Florida Bicycle Association designates March as Florida Bicycle Month, and Palm Beach County recognizes this observance locally. And whereas Florida Bicycle Month features fitness activities, educational programs, races, commuting opportunities, and charity events for riders of all ages and abilities at parks and locations throughout Palm Beach County. And whereas recognition of Florida Bicycle Month raises awareness of bicycling and promotes physical activity, healthy lifestyles, and bicycling as a viable transportation option. And whereas the Palm Beach County Metropolitan Planning Organization plans, supports, and recommends projects that improve bicycle awareness, access, and safety, as well as promotes community education efforts to enhance safe bicycling practices. And whereas bicycle-friendly communities contribute to improved public health, quality of life, economic vitality, tourism, traffic safety, and student outcomes while reducing congestion and wear on local roadways. And whereas electric bicycles are an increasingly popular mode of transportation, Palm Beach County encourages all road users to share the roadway responsibly and encourages organizations to promote safety through education and training. And whereas the Palm Beach County has an expanding network of designated and enhanced bicycle facilities totaling approximately 300 miles, and several local municipalities have adopted complete streets policies advancing a safe, connected, and accessible transportation system for bicyclists of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds. Now, therefore, I, Keith W. Babb, Jr., Mayor of the City of Pahokee, Florida, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Florida Bicycle Month. In official recognition whereof, I unto set my hand and cause the seal of Pahokee to be affixed on this 24th day of February. Mayor Keith W. Babb, Jr., Vice Mayor Sanquetta Cowan Williams, Commissioner Isabel J. McDonald, Commissioner Everett D. McPherson Sr., and Commissioner James H. Scott.
Is anyone here to accept this proclamation in regards of Bicycle Month? Okay, if not, we'll make sure the necessary persons get it. And the next proclamation is for March 2026 as Let's Move Palm Beach County Month. Attorney, will you read for the record?
Whereas the City of Pahokee takes special notice and acknowledges exceptional organizations that help residents who live, work, and play within the jurisdiction, and whereas in 2024, Digital Vibes became a nonprofit to reach out to underserved youth in Palm Beach County by empowering them through dance, fitness, technology, and the arts. And whereas Digital Vibes partners with the Palm Beach Health Foundation annually to host the Let's Move Commit to Change Physical Activity Challenge, a countywide initiative that focuses on physical activity, nutrition, and healthy behaviors. And whereas Digital Vibes, Inc. and Palm Beach County and Palm Health Foundation present the annual challenges, which takes place annually from March 1st through March 31st, and encourages individuals within the Palm Beach County community to take charge of their health by participating in fun fitness exercises. And whereas the Let's Move initiative was originally introduced on a national level by First Lady Michelle Obama in 2010 with the goal of decreasing childhood obesity throughout the United States due to the fact that nearly 1 in 3 children in the United States are overweight or obese. And if this problem persists, 1/3 of all children born in 2000 will later suffer from diabetes at some point in their lives, or it says 2000, at some point in their lives, or will face other obesity-related health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, asthma, and cancer. And whereas the Digital Vibes and the Palm Health Foundation invite all residents to take the challenge to move by forming teams, registering online, committing to exercising for at least 30 minutes a day throughout the month of March, and logging their minutes on the Let's Move website, www.letsmovepbc.org. In 2012, Palm Beach County logged 100,000 minutes in the first year of the challenge, and we have met the challenge each year since, rising in 2025 to over 101 million minutes logged. Now therefore, I, Keith W. Babb Jr., Mayor of the City of Pahokee, Florida, on behalf of the City Commission, urge all citizens to join in moving to improve their fitness, mental health, and overall health, and do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Let's Move Palm Beach County Month in official recognition whereof I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Pahokee to be affixed on this 24th day of February 2026. Keith W. Babb Jr., Mayor, City of Pahokee, Vice Mayor Sanquetta Cowan Williams, Commissioner Isabel J. McDonald, Commissioner Everett D. McPherson Sr., and Commissioner James H. Scott.
Is a representative here from Let's Move? If so, please come forward. Commission, interim manager, let's go down to the bottom with On behalf of the City of Pahokee, I want to say that we are declaring these days as Let's Move Month for July. We want to thank you for all your services that you provide for Palm Beach County and also for the children here in the City of Pahokee. We are part of Palm Beach County, and anything that we can do, any support that you can give to continue to help our kids be safe, to be healthy, we appreciate it, and we want to say thank you. You're welcome.
Wow. Thank you so much, Commissioners, Mayor. We truly appreciate you guys taking the initiative to accept our challenge. The Let's Move initiative, it's very simple. Our goal is to inspire and motivate our residents, our community to take control of their health by doing any type of physical activities. It could be walking, running, as long as they're off the couch and moving. So that's basically what it's all about. We create a team, and then you get to log in those minutes on the Let's Move website, letsmovepbc.org. The challenge becomes a city versus cities challenge. This is actually the first time we come up here. This is the 15th year of the Let's Move. It's our first time coming up here to, officially invite the City of Pahokee to, take part of the challenge. Village of Wellington, every year for the past 5 years, they have won the challenge. So we would like to invite the City of Pahokee, to make sure that the Village of Wellington don't win it for the 6th year in a row. So that's pretty much the reason why I'm here. With Digital Vibes, we have numerous programs happening in the great City of Pahokee. We have a mentoring program that's happening here. So we definitely involve great City of Pahokee. So that's why we're here, is to, challenge each one of our residents to take part of that challenge. So let's move pbc.org, and thank you to our commissioners for really, proclaiming Let's Move as a march, as a, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, the next consent agenda item is F, February the 10th, 2026, City Commission meeting minutes. Can I get an approval of the minutes?
I move for the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second by Mayor Bab. Are there any discussion? Hearing none, ready for a vote?
Mayor Bab,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams.
Yes. Next item is G, old business, an update, McClure Road project.
Okay, Mayor, Commissioners, as requested, I'm providing an update on the McClure Reconstruction Project as we continue advancing this initiative through the Florida Department of Transportation Small County Outreach Program, commonly known as SCOP. Our staff has continued coordinating with FDOT to confirm eligibility requirements and align the project scopes with SCOP criteria. The proposed improvements include full roadway construction, drainage enhancements to address recurring water concerns, and safety upgrades such as striping and stabilization. These improvements are designed to extend the roadway's life cycle while improving overall mobility and safety for our residents. From a funding perspective, SCOP is providing majority funding for this undertaking. However, our city is elected to participate in the cost share opportunity that allows the city to leverage state dollars while minimizing impact on the city's budget. McClure Road serves as a key neighborhood connector. Advancing this project not only addresses infrastructure deviancies, but also reinforces our broader commitment to neighborhood stabilization and long-term economic resilience in the city of Pahokee. And with this statement, what I want to do is allow our Community Economic Development Director, who has come on and taken on this task since she's been on board, that I was handling prior to that. And I must say, she has been in touch with the authorities who has something to do with this project, and I want to have her come up and do a presentation so that way you can visibly see what we have going on. So, Director Peggy Boulay-Washington.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor and Commission. My name is Peggy Boulay-Washington. I'm the Director of Community and Economic Development for the City of Pahokee. First off, let me say thank you to my city manager, our mayor and commission, and our members of the community who have been adamant about us completing these outstanding road projects that have been in the hopper for 5 or so years. This project that I'm getting ready to present an update on has been, the city made application for it in 2019. So again, thank you, Madam Manager, for allowing me to work on getting the city back on track. She's been very involved in the process, so I do thank you for that. She's been attending our FDOT meetings with FDOT, and that is truly commendable. When she's unable to attend, she makes sure that additional staff is present so that notes are taken and we can compare notes and debrief each other. So we are working really hard at making sure we get this project and the other projects that have not been completed yet, completed. So with that said, I provided slides to you just to abbreviate our presentation. So as you all know, the McClure project, and for clarification's sake, we do have a couple projects that are outstanding. There was some confusion, for lack of better words, in terms of the funding mechanism to which the projects were funded. So McClure is, and I got the clarification through FDOT. So we were under the impression that this McClure project, as well as Phase 4, which we will present on later on, throughout our coming commission meetings is not through the SCOP project. This is the only SCOP project that the city, myself, along with the manager, are aware that is an outstanding grant project through FDOT. The other project that was lumped in with SCOP is Phase 4, but that is not SCOP. So we'll touch base on that in the coming commission meetings.
Can you identify those areas that are included?
For the SCOP application. So the SCOP application is McClure, which is what I'll be
McClure
presenting
only?
on. Yes, ma'am. So that is the only one right now that the city has. Barfield, I believe, was SCOP. I can verify that along with other funding sources, matches, and things of that nature. But that's closed out. So right now, this is the only outstanding one. Phase 4 is actually a appropriations request that Palm Beach County went out for, and they were awarded the appropriations, and it was divvied up between the three tri-cities. So that is how we received those fundings, those funding mechanisms. So going back to, yes, ma'am.
What's included in Phase 4?
Phase 4 are the 5 streets that I believe Mayor Babb made reference to a couple meetings ago, which included West 3rd. That was, I believe the cross streets are Carissa, Begonia, and it goes down to Rodden, MLK, I believe 9th, 12th. I can get the exact street numbers for you. Don't quote me on that, but there are 5 streets. We will be making an extensive presentation on that because there is some input from the commission that we will need, and it's time sensitive. So just be aware that we will be coming back before the commission on that. Any other questions before I begin? Okay. Sir? So, and just for clarity's sake, SCOP, I know we hear the reference SCOP all the time, but for clarity's sake and for the public, SCOP stands for Small County Outreach Program for Rural Areas of Opportunity. And there are 2 components to it. The city qualifies for the municipality component to it because we are not a fiscally constrained county. So just wanted to provide some clarity on that. So when you see SCOP M, you know that's us. The city made application for McClure Road from Palm Road to South Lake Drive. There is a pictorial depiction of what those road lengths look like. And in the engineer report, you'll see all of the details on that if you would like us to provide that to you. So moving forward, the city of Pahokee aggressively pursued funding through the SCOP program, submitting a total request of $2,902,054, broken down as $355,764 for design, $2,371,760 for construction, $175,000 for consulting, engineering, inspections, which is our CI services. While the city was awarded $933,943, this award represents a significant step forward in restoring infrastructure investments and our momentum with this initiative. The city's match is $210,000, which includes $128,370 allocated for road design services. The total funding for this project is $1,143,943.
And that's the city's match, the 1 million?
No, ma'am. The city's match is $210,000. And to be clear, because we are a fiscally constrained county, FDOT has been very, very cooperative with us and accommodating. They shared with us that if we do not have the $210,000, they are amenable to us decreasing that amount. So to answer your question, yes, $210,000 is the city's match. The amount that was granted to the city is $933,943. And the total amount allotted for that grant is $1,143,943. The city has, and we want to touch on the responsible budget planning and allocation that through our manager, we've been able to address. So the city has already demonstrated fiscal preparedness by allocating $676,972 in our 2025-2026 budget, located under Fund 330, and it's titled Capital Project Fund, and it's our schedule of expenses. So this proactive allocation ensures the city is positioned to move forward without delay once engineering services are secured.
So may I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So engineering services have not been secured yet, because I thought we were in the phase where we had to just notify the community. That was where we were in it.
Yes. So yes and no. We did have engineer services. We did pay our engineers for design and so on, and we did go through the process of moving forward with the grant through the engineer services. However, the contract expired, and unfortunately, ma'am.
When did it expire? Because I've been asking about this. We've been asking about McCool Road. So when did the contract expire?
Over a year ago, almost 2 years. It's been expired. So the previous, I believe, administration before the previous administration may have been operating under an expired contract. I can't tell you the time lapse between administration. However, it had been expired for quite some time, and we are working with our city attorney. Thank you very much for your assistance in providing guidance with us going out to procure engineering services.
So we're not at the point where we're ready to request a proposal
In terms of what?
In terms of this contract.
Oh, we're ready to go. So everything is done. The issue right now stands that our engineering services, so AE, so Architectural and Engineering Services, that contract that we had with WGI has expired. We did have a 3-year contingency, for lack of better words, that allows us to work with that engineer for an additional 3 years. However, because there was a time lapse, I believe that contract was voided. Am I correct?
I don't have it through the mayor. I don't have it in front of me, but
Okay.
I think the contract just expired. I think you all did take the opportunity to extend for 1 additional year, which was a provision in the contract. But then after that additional year, you have to take those services out for bid according to Florida statutes, because it's a CCNA statutory process that you have to go through.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that.
So the design phase is complete,
It-
totally?
It is complete. However, in my meetings with FDOT, they did share with me that the engineer was provided some corrective actions that they needed to take place. I believe the corrective actions were provided during that lapse in engineering services. There was also, from what I understand, an issue prior to this administration where the engineer was not paid for services rendered. And so the city had to make due on that, pay for those services. Now we are in the good graces of that engineer, however, the contract has expired. So if that engineer, if we go out for bid, if that is the correct course of action, which I believe it is the correct course of action, and that engineer bids and happens to get it again, I believe we're in a good place because they already have everything and they can move as quick as possible to address
But
one.
you have to stop.
Ma'am, I'm
But you have to
sorry.
evaluate that, and it's a process to evaluate it,
Correct.
so.
Yes.
right, okay.
So we'll yield to our city attorney for direction, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully, it is something that can be remedied within a reasonable amount of time, and then we can move forward because everything has already, as we understand it, and through our meetings with FDOT, has been done. There are some as I stated, there are some corrective actions that FDOT did share with us. They would like the engineer to make to the design of the project. From there, we can go back out for bid, secure contracting services, and then begin road work.
Where are we with the bidding process with the RFP?
So we would have to procure an engineer because that engineer would provide the pricing, the design, mapping, things of that nature.
That's what I'm asking, where are we with that process?
So we're currently coordinating, I believe, with the city attorney, or when the inception of coordinating with the city attorney?
So I've given the whole packet with with an RFP. I gave it to Mr. Lucas. I gave it to Ms. Bussey. I gave it to, and I've sent it like a couple of times already. So they have a package that they can use, and instead of just doing engineering services under CC&A, you can do architectural, you can do landscaping, you can do a lot of other services. So you can have it for 3 years, and then that way you can have a pool. You'll have a pool of applicants, and then you'll be able to select based on the proposals per project. So I even have within the bid that I gave, the actual contracts that you would have with each of the contractors, and then the project proposals for each of them. That's a part of the bid. And so it's like kind of a standard one. Other cities use it. And once they put it out, it's pretty much all done. You just have to put in some specs about, the Pahokee and how many residents and, some general things in the very beginning. But it's ready to go whenever they put it out.
Do the project includes for a project manager? Because projects like this, $1 million plus, I mean, we ran into a lot of problems with McClure Road because of that, the different change orders and all. And I know large projects gonna have some change orders, but a project manager help guide you through that. We don't have no one on staff directly that can be responsible totally for a project of this size. So I would encourage and suggest that we hire a project manager for these large projects when we have them.
You mean Barfield,
And to
right?
your point,
You mean Barfield?
Yeah.
And to your point, Mr. Mayor, based off my research with this project and a couple of the other projects that I've recently been assigned since coming back on board, it seems as if the engineer on record, our EOR, is acting as the project manager in collaboration with the city in terms of specs for the project. We do agree that is a conversation that our manager has been having with us in terms of streamlining some of those responsibilities because it is taxing, and we can't avoid the pitfalls of change orders that are unnecessary. I think some of these change orders we probably should have questioned a little more, but that's not my place. I wasn't there. I can't speak to that. But I can say that moving forward, our manager has been working diligently with staff to streamline how these grants will be better managed.
And Mr. Mayor, depending on what, and the commissioner, depending on what company is selected, a lot of them have that built into the project. Now, on the city side, you still have to manage, the payment and how much have you paid out on this contract. The city still has certain obligations that the city will have to do. But in terms of the contract, you all may recall when you would get those change orders, they were always signed off on by an engineer who had reviewed it and said that this is something that was necessary based on the project, whether it was the roadway had to be torn up in order to, support a pipe or something that you didn't know until you tore up the roadway. Those things were all supported by an engineer. But I think the things that you're maybe referring to are some of the things that hopefully with the financial review, some of those controls can be put in place that will allow the city to do that more diligently and without a lot of problems in the future. So there are two different things, and you won't be able to get away from the city's management of it.
And to our city attorney's point, and thank you for making that those points. FDOT has a team that we meet with regularly. As part of that team, there are several engineers on that team, and they allow for us to ask those questions. Also, as our city attorney stated, with the engineer on record, same thing. They have a team, staff members that are designated to certain components of the grant.
So I have a question. How long is it going to take for us, the city, to get going with the RFP? I know the attorney said everything has been sent to you all several times. So what is our holdup what are we waiting on to go ahead and get it out?
As I understand it, we have staff that's working right now as we speak. I just responded to an email requesting some information that I just received from FDOT today, and I sent it to the staff member that's assigned to this particular component.
So what's our time frame we're looking at?
Yes, I was getting ready to tell you. I would imagine within the coming days. The RFP process is about 30 days that we put it out. About 2 weeks or so for us to have the team that's assembled to rate it and go through that whole process. I'd say anywhere from 30 to 60 days would be sufficient time, I would say, for staff to mobilize, get that bid out, have the bid meeting and go through that process so that we can secure an engineer. My hope is to do it sooner than later because we are anticipating to apply for additional SCOP dollars. That application is due on the 25th of March. So our goal is to get everything out as soon as possible so that we're able to make application for those streets that I spoke briefly about for phase 4. We don't want to miss the opportunity for that funding. Yeah.
I have one last question.
Yes,
So I know we passed the deadline when this project was supposed to be done. So did we get an extension, and what was the extension that we have up to now to get this project done?
Okay, great question. So the city did receive another extension. That extension expires June of 26. However, we did make application again. And I use the term loosely. We wrote a letter. You're supposed to write a letter requesting the extension. We have requested an extension for December 30th of 2027. I did get an update from FDOT. They do expect us to, be approved for it. So I did get a verbal nod, but of course we do have to wait for it to be in writing. I don't want to hold their feet to the fire, but it seems as if we are going to get it. That we're putting forth a lot of effort. They're very encouraged by the effort that we're putting forth. So I believe we'll get it.
And
So-
when you get it, can you make sure we get it? Because we want to
Yes.
keep up with it to make
Of
sure that
course.
we don't lose funding again so that we can stay on
Yes,
top
ma'am.
of all of the grants that we are getting so that we can bring it back up at the meeting on a continuous basis.
Yes, ma'am.
So
We
when
sure
we
will.
get that, if you can make sure the commission gets that they've approved it for December 2027, but right now it's June 2026.
It's June, yes, June 30th of 2026. The new requested extension is for December 30th of 2027. And that is for us to secure design services and so on, and hopefully begin the road construction phase.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boulay Washington.
Okay?
Thank you for that information, and I hope those are all the questions, but thank you. We'll continue with what we're doing. And I tell you, you coming in here as that Community Economic Development Director, letting me manage has been wonderful. So thank you for that
your
information. I think we addressed all the questions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your leadership.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, also your pamphlets, they have information on them as well.
Okay, at this time, we don't have any public hearings or ordinances. We do have one resolution here on the agenda, Resolution 2026-06, City Attorney.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Pahokee, Florida, amending the signatories for various bank accounts of the City of Pahokee at PNC Bank N.A., removing Joseph R. Martin as a signatory, authorizing city officials to execute all necessary documents to comport with this resolution and with PNC banking requirements, providing for adoption of representations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, City Attorney. City Manager, could you give us a brief explanation?
Yes, Mayor. The City of Pahokee maintains designated authority signatories for its official bank accounts to ensure proper financial controls and continuity of operations. Due to a change in personnel, it is necessary to update the list of authorized signatories. The former Finance Director, Joseph R. Martin, is no longer employed with the city. Therefore, removal as an authorized signatory on all city bank accounts is required. All other authorized signatories on the city's bank accounts shall remain unchanged, including the mayor, city clerk, and the interim city manager. So there is no budget impact on this, approving this item.
Are you planning on at some point the Assistant Finance Director, so we can at least have adequate backup that in case the clerk or myself is out, we need two signatures on any authority to purchase anything or pay for anything?
Okay, we're interviewing for finance director on next week, so we'll get that filled, so that way we'll have that additional person available for us.
Okay, City Commission, haven't heard Resolution 2026-06 properly read into the minutes by our City Attorney, properly explained by our City Manager. What is your preference?
I move that we accept Resolution 2026-06.
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner McPherson and properly seconded by Commissioner McDonough for the movement and passage of Resolution 2026-06. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Colin Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Bab.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we have new business, presentation by the city manager of activities of upcoming events, if any.
The only upcoming event that I have is the I Love Pahokee Day is coming forth on April 4th. And so I just wanted to put that announcement out there as far as upcoming events. I don't have anything else, Mayor. I do have the, you have the presentation, the surtax fund discussion. And so in reference to that one, I was asked to come back with information on the surtax. how that money was going to be spent. And so, in response to that, I want to provide you with an update on the proposed expenditure of our surtax revenue for fiscal year 2025-2026. According to our adopted budget, the city expects to receive $500,000 in surtax funds dedicated to capital outlay. Our goal tonight is to ensure these funds are directed toward the priorities established in our comprehensive plan while remaining fiscally responsible. As you all recall, or should recall, in 2024, this commission approved a text amendment to the comprehensive plan. That plan includes a capital improvement element or a roadmap for capital improvements. Fiscal year 2022 to 2026 is when this capital improvement plan arranged. For the current fiscal year, 2 primary project areas were identified for surtax funding. The first one was MLK Park. The scope includes resurfacing the parking lot, baseball field striping, and fencing. The proposed funding was $30,000. Marina Campground, number 2, the Marina Campground Complex, a comprehensive upgrade including docks, seawall repairs, LED lighting, a new fuel tank, security enhancements, and dredging. The proposed amount for that was $500,000. Now, what I'm looking, staff is recommending that the budget, because of our budgeted surtax revenue is $500,000, and our planned projects total $530,000. Staff recommends a strategic split to ensure both sites see immediate progress. And so I just want to make sure that you all understand what I'm saying. The city expects to receive $500,000 in surtax funds. That was what approved by the budget, you all. And so, however, it shows $30,000 budget for MLK and $500,000 for Marina. So what I'm proposing is that $30,000 would be allocated to MLK Park to fully fund the planned improvements, and then the $470,000 be allocated to the Marina Campground Complex. This allows us to complete the MLK Park projects in full while making a massive dent in the marina upgrades. Any remaining marina items will be prioritized in future funding cycles. While the capital improvement plan originally identified various grants as potential funding sources, our current staff has found no record of the previous administration successfully applying for these specific opportunities. We are now taking action. My team is currently researching grant cycles and requirements so that we can aggressively pursue funding to cover remaining upgrades and additional improvements. Additionally, for the sake of full transparency, the CIP also designated $1.5 million in surtax and USDA grant funding in the fiscal year 25-26 for the old Pahokee High School and the new City Hall renovations. At this time, the city does not have a secured USDA grant, and as noted, our available surtax for this year is $500,000. We will continue to evaluate the City Hall project as part of our long-term facility strategy. Finally, it is important for me to note that our current capital improvement plan concludes at the end of this fiscal year. Staff is already planning for the completion of the next 5-year capital improvement plan. This will be a collaborative and transparent process that will engage the commission, our staff, and most importantly, seek community feedback to ensure our future infrastructure investments align with the needs of our residents. This process will need to take place relatively soon to ensure that next year's budget aligns with these plans. And if necessary, I'll provide a formal update to the commission on the development of this new 5-year plan in the near future.
Can you repeat what you said for the docks? I mean, for the marina again, it was the docks. You said LED lighting, a fuel tank, a fence, and what was the other one?
Yeah, the things that were listed is the docks, seawall repairs, LED
Seawall.
lighting, LED lighting, a new fuel tank, security enhancements, and dredging.
Security enhancement
Yes,
and dredging.
yes.
So it was nowhere now. I remember Mayor Babb talked about the signage coming into the city. That's funding being used for that. That was not on the list.
Not on the list on the budget, no.
Which budget you're talking about?
The one that you all approved for this fiscal year.
So these were the items that was actually listed?
Yes, what, on the budget plan that I looked in the, CIP plan, it showed $500,000 as the amount, designated as surtax dollars. And then it showed 30,000 for, excuse me, it's like I'm getting a cold. 30,000 was set for MLK Park, and then 500,000 was set for Marina Campground completion complex. And so those are the things that's listed, and I can get that information, a copy to you all of what it is, if need be.
The second entryway sign wasn't included in the budget because we approved that as a
sure did.
commission. That was one of the projects we wanted to utilize from the surtax dollars for that project.
Okay,
So
and
you're saying it's not in the budget?
not in the one that I have. It's not designated in these. It may be in there, but it's not designated under these surtax projects, because you all asked me to report on the surtax. So this is a surtax information. 500,000 was anticipated, and these are the two things that were designated for the surtax usage. And as a matter of fact, 500, it adds up to 530,000, but it wasn't even allocated for this amount. It was allocated for the 500,000. And that's on the sheet that I can provide for you all.
And
So-
then go ahead.
So for clarification, as far as MLK Park is concerned, that's for resurfacing, correct? $30,000 for resurfacing? Because I know, previously, the amounts that we had, entertained for that park was like 250,000.
That was a grant.
That's what I'm trying to
Right.
clarify. So the
Right.
30,000 is for resurfacing, the resurfacing of the road, the park?
They had 30,000. As a matter of fact, I did make extra copies in case you all need it. But the 30,000 is for the improvements of the parking lot, resurfacing.
Yeah, that's what I'm-
Yes.
okay.
Striping, baseball field, yeah.
So the parking lot, baseball field. And what was the third one?
Okay, for
I don't remember this.
For MLK, improvements include parking lot, resurfacing, striping, baseball field, and fencing. Those are the things listed.
Going back to the
Striping for the-
lobbyists, what's the status on our appropriation request? Have there been any movement or any decline in any movement? Is it went to any stages in the process? And where are we on that?
I have not received a report back from her, from the lobbyist, but I can inquire and get back with you all. I'll make a note to get that information from you. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Next up is the report of the mayor. I've really been a little disappointed the last few months. I know we do have a new interim city manager, but some of the progress of projects that being listed and things that we're actually moving forward to it. It could be a lot of things going on, but outside of hearing a few things in commission meeting, I really don't know and don't see a whole lot. I have saw some of the projects. We always have had projects, the Veteran Day project, the Christmas parade, Martin Luther King project, and things like that. So those are continue to move forward. But to be honest, I hadn't saw anything outside of that. I'm glad we did have the streets and roads put on the agenda so we can discuss it and not pointing fingers or not, putting a bad reflection on anyone. But if you look at this agenda, and it's been this way for, I guess, the last 3 months, it consists of about 5 or 6 pages. And if you look at this agenda, the last city manager, the last agenda, this what commission was asking for. And the commission that strongly supported you, I haven't heard them mention anything about anything. So all I've been hearing is the outstanding work that's been done, that I'm just having a little difficult seeing it. And not putting anybody on the spot or pointing fingers at anyone or trying to get anybody involved in my report, but even family members that the vice mayor mentioned at her last meeting here, this what we want. And I think, Ms. Buss, at some point, you have to speak up, even if it's privately with your family members, because they are really disrupting this process that we're doing. And it scares me that if you are at some point appointed the permanent city manager, how would that continue? If it's this, at this point now, I think it'll even get worse. And I'm gonna give you just an example. Your husband came up at the last commission meeting and say that I embarrassed you because I mispronounced your name and didn't pronounce it right. And I told him I apologized to him, but I told him I apologized. And he said, when? And I thought at some point you would have just tried to interrupt and say, honey, he did apologize. He apologized at the event. You even brought it to my attention immediately after that. And I told you I was so sorry for that. It was just a mixed memory or whatever you want to call it. But you could have easily defused that, but you allowed that to happen. I think the previous city manager, even Michael Jackson, kind of hinted or mentioned to you, Ms. Buss, your family. You can, you say they drone, you can't have no control over them, but you can speak to them. You can show some effort that whatever this circus that's generating in this city, that you're not helping spearhead it.
Can I speak to that?
This is my report, sir.
No. That's okay, Mr. Buss. No. I'm listening.
So I'm just asking that you can take a more active role. I know they all grown, but they are your family, and I don't think we have ever had other families that much involved with the criticism that's being put out there. Even going to the point where saying we just need to hire you without an interview. I mean, the whole entire family. So it's just disheartening to me. It has been, and again, I hate to just mention people, but even the city attorney kind of mentioned it some at the last commission meeting. So now you had the previous city manager, you have the city attorney, and now you're having the mayor, and other people are saying that some other folks are saying the same thing. So I'm just asking you, just like you asking us to work with you, work with us. At least the part that you can control, which is your own personal family, try to do that and help us and help me as a mayor who's presiding over the meeting, have a little more control over the meeting. And I would ask that you consider doing that. And that will conclude my report. Next, it would be the report of the city manager.
Okay, my report consists of first thanking everyone for coming out to the Black History program that we had, for those that came. And my second report is, on last Thursday, I received a call from the fire chief in reference to FP&L being on site to shut off power to a building that was deplorable. And it has been a problem for many years here in Pahokee. And so the fire chief called. I left my office to go to that location as a city manager, an interim city manager, let me correct that, interim city manager. I didn't send a staff member, I went along with Ms. Boulay Washington. When I got there to see those residents living in a place with no water, no power, I took action. FPNL said they needed to shut off the power. Fire department said it was unsafe. So I reached out. PBSO escorted me, said, Ms. Bussey, the city has to do something. Not FPNL, not the water department, the city, not the fire department. I called my mayor 8 times. I texted him 3 times to ask him, what should I do, and to make sure that you were informed. I didn't get an answer. I walked down to the clerk's office and I asked her to call you. She called and you answered on the first ring, Mayor Babb. And so I'm saying, I'm sitting here wanting to work with everyone. I'm sitting here busting my butt with what we have. We don't have money to do what you're saying what needs to be done. So I just want you, so from there, we needed to help these families. I reached out to Belglade to ask about transportation for our residents, any help that I could get. I reached out to the county. I'm networking. I'm here for the city. So to me, this is important. We have our residents who are being put out because the building needs to be condemned. I go into action along with my community economic development director. We called and we got transportation to bring these families up here to the cafeteria to stand by while we called the county to help us find locations for these families. With the help of the county and Mayor Wilson and City Manager Lomax helping us locate a hotel, we were able to move 9 families, 26 children total to Horizon Inn. The county immediately came over to me and Ms. Boulay and said, we are going to take your residents from here. We're going to make sure that they have a place to stay and they're going to help them find jobs. And I says, I don't want to leave them out on the street. What can we do? Sheriff's office escorted me to every single door while we knocked on the resident's door to say, hey, you have to go, but I'm not going to let you be homeless. So I called the county, Palm Beach County Community and Health and Development Center. They came, they met us at the hotel. They took care of all those families' rooms because we refused to leave them. They said we will make sure they're taken care of and they will have a job if they want it. All with networking. So for me, life health is more important than the material things. So we got these families and the county says they're gonna pay because of us saying don't do our residents like that. They're paying for 7 days for our residents to stay in that hotel, help them get a job. At the end of those 7 days, whoever's still there, they're gonna pay another 7 days. They're gonna do this for 90 days, 3 months, if necessary. All because I stayed till 11 o'clock Thursday night down in Belglade with our residents of Pahokee. Babies with no shirts, babies with no shoes, Pampers on. I'm there, representing the city of Pahokee. Friday morning, I got back. No, I didn't go to the office at 8, 9. I'm down in Belglade till 10 o'clock Friday morning, Mayor, helping our residents, make sure they're okay. Those families are still down there. Why? Because we made the network, we made the connection to make sure they were not. Now we have the other building that needs to be condemned because the landlord has not been held responsible. But I'm trying to instigate that and make them step up and not be slumlords. And I have those same county people waiting, Ms. Bussey. We love your energy. We love your compassion. When those buildings are empty, call us because we're going to do the same thing for those people. And so, Mayor, I went through all of that and I notified you. and you haven't even called me back to ask me how are things going? What has happened? Can I help you? Now, I'm gonna respect your position, and I always have been, but I'm just saying what happened. I'm helping the families, and I reached out to you. And then the events that we are having, we don't have money in this, a whole lot of money in our town. We already know our budget is stretched thin, and we can only do so much. You're saying about a project manager. A project manager is in the budget. It's gonna take money and probably have to look for the next budget year. But right now, I'm doing the things that is the least expensive to bring our families together. I can't go fix a road because the money for the road is gone. I can't go fix a marina because the money in the marina is gone. I can't do those things yet, but I'm fighting to be here, if allowed to pave the roads, to do those things, to get grant money, to get funding to do those things. But in the meantime, those things that I can do, I'm doing. I'm bringing people together. Yeah, the Veterans Day may not be a big deal, but to me, it brought our community together. The Black History Program, it brought our community together. So I'm doing those things.
Those events are great. I commend you for doing,
Right.
commend you for doing that.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
but we always done events.
right, and then here's the thing too. If given the opportunity, I have a 6-month plan for you that I will show you that can happen. But it's gonna take getting the grants that we're gonna go out to. I have the staff. I'm building a team of workers. What Ms. Boulay Washington is doing, it relieves the stress because she knows what she's doing. You know, everybody don't know everything. And the first time you had to do something, you had to learn how to do it. But building the right team is helping us bring our city together. The connections, we're in those meetings with those people, trying to make our town better. And so just with all due respect, I hear what you're saying. And no, I'm not bringing a whole bunch of things up here because we don't have a whole bunch of resolutions to read every meeting. You know, they can be thick, but it's a whole bunch of resolutions. I'm bringing things in that make sense. I don't want to pile the agenda up just to have things on there. The things that we talked about tonight, the McClure project, that's what you all wanted. We gave the information, very thorough. Now you want the surtax. I'm going over surtax that you all approve, not me. I came into this budget. You had $500,000 anticipated for surtax, but you had $530,000 with the surtax to be spent on. It wasn't enough money. So I'm recommending what you can do. I have enough sense on how to keep things balanced, and it's going to get better over time. So for you to sit there, and I respect that, that's your opinion, you know, and I'm done.
Can you,
go ahead.
can you give, the address for those 2 buildings that are deplorable?
One is 169 Adams Place.
The other one, the legal address is 170 West 3rd Street.
And then 171 West 3rd Street. 169 Adams Place.
170.
170
West
West
3rd Street.
3rd Street.
Before the magistrate, Ms. Bussey, for Parker Place, yeah, I guess that's what it's, Parker Building. So, because at one point they said they went before the magistrate, so are you saying that nothing was never done? They never went to the magistrate? There's no record of anything with
They put
Parker-
a Band-Aid on it.
with Parker Building? So
Nothing
they
was-
never went before the magistrate or anything?
Whatever was done, it did, what it was like Commissioner McDonough said, it was a Band-Aid, because they went right back into the same thing.
If my memory serves me correctly, I think that the judge or somebody got involved and put a stop to.
Right, that's what I'm
That
asking. You
being
said that they couldn't put the
I-
people out of the
don't quote me
building.
on that,
Yeah.
but to my memory, I think that happened, I suppose, because we wanted to.
But
Condemn
this
the
situation was
building.
a safety concern of FPL.
I just have a question, interim manager, that I wanted to ask, and I want to say, the events that we've been having, and I wasn't at the Black History Program. I had death in my family, but I just have a quick question. I know we've had several events, and I know like food and prizes and things was involved. Was all of that donated? The like, I think for Veterans Day, food was involved, and I think the Black History Program. Is the city is that being donated or is the city paying for it?
Some of it's city and some of it's donated.
And so I know we put a donation policy in place just so that when we have our audit, just making sure that we're doing things properly. What have we done when it came to the donations? What have we done as far as the donations? And if we, the commission, can get a copy of that paperwork that was done for the donations, because we want to make sure that we're in compliance.
Okay.
And when we have an audit, that, there are no problems with that. So if we can get that information by the end of the week. So we want to make sure that we are not falling back into what we were doing and not following our policies. So if we can get a copy of everything that has been donated from these events so that we can have it and make sure that we're in compliance with our donation policy.
Okay.
Okay. I had another question as well. At the last meeting, I asked about where's the money going to come from for the $85,000 that was approved for the consultant. Did you bring that information so we can look at it and do a budget amendment? Because as the commissioners, it's our fiduciary responsibility. First of all, before we approve any contracts, we should know where the money is coming from in the budget. And we didn't get that information even though the contract was approved. So I want to make sure when we get our audit done that this is a finding. We're again not following what we should be following. And so did you bring that information with us tonight to see where, I know you said it was coming from somewhere in the budget, but it's our responsibility to know where it's coming from in the budget and so that we can do an amendment to the budget. So do you have that information on where the money is coming from and so we can amend the budget if we need to?
Okay, Vice Mayor, I appreciate that because I'm glad that everyone's concerned about the audits that's coming up because that'll help us all stay straight. But to answer your question, the position or the hiring of the financial consultant was not a new allocation. It was an existing position that we have for a consultant, and we hired another consultant. The amount isn't $85,000, it's up to. She's paid monthly, by the hour, just like the previous one. And so if you want me to give you the budget item, it's listed.
I know the budget item, and I know you said up to, but we approved an amount that we don't know what we approved. I know you said up to.
Okay, I'll get that information for you.
I was just saying, so if we're going over it, we still need to know where in the budget is that money coming from.
All right, I'll get that for you.
Okay. My next question is, in the emergency meeting we had, you said that we approved the strategic planner position. I did my research. I didn't see that resolution. You said we approved it by resolution. Do you know that resolution number? Because I don't remember that in my research. That never came to us.
No.
And changing the grant writer position to a strategic planner.
And again, with all due respect, Vice Mayor, the strategic planner position wasn't brought before the commission to get approval. Okay, it was as I stated before, and again, all these questions that you're asking, as I stated, to meet with you all once a week, because these questions can be addressed in communication with each other, but that's okay.
No, but I called to meet with you last week, and you told me you prefer not to meet with me. Any questions that I had, you would prefer to talk to me in the meeting. That's what you said to me when I called to speak with you.
To answer that question, we had a grant writer's position.
Which we approved in the budget that we extensively talked about that we needed.
No. And these things were done, well, I'll leave that alone. The grant writer's position, when I came there as interim city manager, it had been vacant for a long time. I don't see being, and this is like day to day, but I don't see where, in my opinion, that we need a grant writer 40 hours a week, or even, we don't need a grant writer where we can get the same thing out of one or two positions. And so I made a strategic planner position, like all the other city managers have done, to select who they want to have. Deputy city managers change them, but anyway, I selected to make the grant writer position a strategic planner position, and she's there, she's doing an outstanding job. And between the community economic development person and the strategic planner, we can do the grant writing still with those same people.
So my question still is, though, that was not approved by the commission. I hear what you're saying. You're saying because you're the manager, you can just do that. But I'm going to defer to the attorney to find out if that's true or not, because that position was not approved in the budget. There was a change made. We approved a grant writing position. I don't even know how much the position pays or anything. Don't know the job description and where it falls at on the flow chart, because we have not been given a new flow chart since the changes has been made. So I'm going to defer to the attorney and find out, is the manager has the authority to change a position that has not been approved in the budget to another position?
I will need to look at that. Typically, you all approve the budget once a year, by September 30th of each year, and I wouldn't want to speak out of turn, so I will have to get back with you on that. She does have some discretionary authority, obviously, to hire who she wants, but that is generally done within the budgetary numbers that you all approve.
Yeah, I'm not saying the person. I'm saying to change a position that's not in the budget, that this commission extensively discussed that we needed a grant writer, even though it was not filled, which we was talking to the other city manager about it as well, and why the position had not been filled, and that we needed the position filled, and it had not been filled. So I didn't know if they can just, if the manager has the authority to just change positions. I'm not talking about the person that you put in the position. And my question for that is because the strategic planner, she came to us back in November, actually it was November 25th. It was KRD Connect, which is still Ms. Driver. It was Ms. Driver's company to do the consulting services for the OIG. And so I remember Commissioner McPherson asking the questions. We wanted a presentation. She was charging up to $10,000, and Ms. Bussey said that she actually withdrew the resolution and said that she was going to hire the person, which is what she did. Ended up hiring the person. We met her at the meeting in January, and so she was charging up to $10,000. I don't know what her salary is for the position that she's in now, because it was not a position. And my concern also was here at the special meeting on February the 17th. So she hired Ms. Driver to do this job. Then on February the 17th, she brought a new company to us to do the same job that Ms. Dreyer was going to do back on November the 25th that she withdrew, but Ms. Dreyer never came back to us. So she was charging up to $10,000. And then here it is on February the 17th, this commission approved to pay someone 8 times more, which was up to $80,000. But I'm just wondering that's why I was so against hiring up to $80,000, because we denied the person that came for $10,000 because we wanted a presentation, but we went back 3 months later and someone else came before us that she brought before us that didn't give we didn't have any paperwork in front of us, and we're paying them $80,000. So my concern is and I hear the mayor saying that we need a manager. We don't have money for certain things, but we have money for other positions, and our city is still in need of a lot of for its infrastructure. So that's my concern. We're paying. I'm just wondering where the money is coming from, and we're doing this, and was that a good way to spend the city money? Someone was charging us $10,000, but then we approved to pay someone up to $80,000. But we asked for a presentation, and we didn't get that presentation, and interim manager decided to hire the person and never brought them back to us for the presentation. But 3 months later, we get someone to pay them $80,000 to do the same thing that the person up to $10,000 was going to do. I just don't think these are good decisions that we're making with the city's money. I mean, these are my concerns that I'm having.
And just through the mayor, to answer your question, I don't see anything that speaks directly to the question that you asked. I do see that it says city managers shall prepare and submit the annual budget message, and capital program to the commission shall keep the commission fully advised of the financial condition and future needs of the city, and shall make such recommendations to the commission concerning the affairs. And then, there are other things, but that's the part about the finances. It may be something.
But the recommendation never came to us about it, that
Right.
making the change. It never came to the commission. That's my concern. It's not coming to the commission, it's just being done. And I mean, we're supposed to be making decisions that are best for this city and its residents. And are we spending the city's money in the best use like we should be? We're approving contracts. It says up to 80,000. We don't know how much how much the person is going to charge. But we had someone to come to us that wanted to pay $10,000 to do the same thing. And I have the contract here with the same 9 concerns that we were supposed to take care of, but we didn't pay them the 10, but we agreed to pay someone up to 80,000, 8 times more prior, 3 months later. I just have a concern. I have a concern with that.
Also mentioned too that Susan, previous financial consultant, say that she was able to do it under her same amount that she has been charging the city, which would have been $80 an
Less.
hour versus $150,000 hours. I know that this other consultant is bringing supposedly a team of 3 or 4 people. I'm not sure the number, but she would then ask that she would take on some of the responsibility of the finance director. So Ms. Susan indicated to Ms. Butsy then that she could do that, but it would be now an additional $40 an hour for a total of $120 an hour to do both roles, to do all the information in the audit report, to get that squared away, and then continue to do some of the finance director role. So she was saying she heard on live streaming our commission meeting, and her position was distorted. So she would have did it for $80 an hour, the contract and work that we wanted done. In addition to being asked to do the financial director work, she was gonna add another 40, and she say she wasn't approached back with a yea or nay. And now that she's saying that she no longer at this point would be willing or wanting to work with the city of Pahokee because of the misinformation that was provided to the commission on that particular evening.
I have a question. I have a question. How long Miss Susan worked with us?
Probably about 2 years, maybe.
And we was late every year.
Huh?
And things wasn't getting done every year.
She wasn't the audit now.
Yeah, she wasn't an
She,
auditor.
She was a consultant. She wasn't.
well,
our
she used to
auditor.
work here. She used to work before
Right.
became a consultant. She was working here.
Right.
And nothing wasn't getting done. Everything was late all the time. See, this the thing that get me right here. I'm sorry, but
What was late? What was late though? I don't know.
the audit. When we every year when Mr. Jackson came in, you know, him and the auditor, they kind of rushed things up together with nothing. Every year that I come here, we always was late. We lost funding because we was late on a lot of stuff.
She wasn't an auditor though. She was just a financial consultant. She was working in the finance department, helping the finance department.
Well, she was the finance person before Mr. Martin came. And I remember when
She was-
Miss
I think she was a
when they asked her for
consultant
for some paperwork, then she left, and then I looked up Mr. Martin was here. Let's just be real for a second, and we sit up here and we complain, oh well, Miss Bussy is spending money and she doing this, but we the same people that sat up here and paid lobbyists $7,500 a month when everybody else paying them $2,000. But it wasn't no problem with that because that's the decision we made.
But the manager didn't bring us a price, though.
Let's just,
The manager didn't bring us any price. I didn't know how much
Okay, but it's, I'm not,
I didn't know how much
listen, I want an explanation,
the
but this is
lobbyist
this is what I'm saying. You know, you sit up here and you say things to the lady, like you hold up a bunch of paper with a bunch of proclamations in it, and I never asked Mr. Jackson anything to bring nothing back, really. Same thing, I don't say nothing to no city manager. I thought I let them do their job. You know, and you sit there and Mr. Jackson, I don't care what you ask him for, and I told you this, and you can put it up on the tape. And I told him, you don't do anything we ask you to do anyway. You do what you want to do. At least I can say this about Ms. Bussett. Whatever you all ask her or I ask her, she tried to get it done. Let's be fair. Don't sit up there and say, come up and hold up a bunch of paper like the lady's not doing. The lady been here.
Whatever you actually she got done, and be specific. I'm hearing a lot of she's getting this.
Well, whatever she'll bring you back the information that you asked her for.
Whatever you asked her, she brought back.
Yeah, I haven't asked her.
Oh, okay. You just say that everything I asked her.
I say no. I said we, whatever you guys ask her. But ask the other commission what they asked to have, she brought it back.
That's what I mean.
But I'm just saying. But here's the thing. But whatever we ask, I've stated this publicly to Mr. Jackson. Whatever we ask him for, he don't do it. And I told you that. So this is my thing over there. And he was here a whole year and so, and you can't tell me nothing he done in a whole year. Nothing he got done. So that's my point. I mean, I think some of the statement that you were making, you should have went to her office and sat down there and told her that.
No.
A
lot of times, James, you tell people in commission meeting where
I
there's no
understand.
distorted saying, this how he approached me. He raised his voice. He did this. He said that.
We're assuming. We're assuming. The lady just stated that she called you. You don't answer the phone. Because you sure don't come to no events.
Can I?
I mean, but you must be leading this city. And you don't participate in nothing that she involved in.
And what was my explanation?
I don't care what your explanation is.
Oh, you don't remember what I said?
No, I don't even care.
Okay.
Because I think it's an insult to sit up there and say what you just said.
I have an obligation, man.
Yeah, have it. Do it, man. Do it. Come out and do it.
Commission meeting.
And come out and do it.
Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead. Cause
First of all, you keep saying what you've been hearing.
Yeah.
And the reason why you got to hear it is like Commissioner Scott said, because you haven't been present. And secondly, I wish you would have let me know that you was doing her evaluation tonight. My interactions with her have been totally different. And I would imagine that yours would be such that they are, because you haven't been able to interact with her, especially if she got to call you 8 times and you don't answer the phone, nor do you answer the text messages.
Next, we'll move to the report of the city attorney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, as I typically do, when I hear things during the meetings, because I don't want you all to think that I'm co-signing the things that I'm hearing, and if I think I may know better. I'm confused about the surtax discussion that you all are having. Generally, the way that works is there was a penny tax, and it gets distributed based upon agreements with the various cities, and you have to propose your projects, and they get approved by the county, and you have these agreements, and all of the cities get them. So I don't really know when you all are maybe you can send me those agreements, Ms. Bussey, or whatever you're looking at about the $500,000 or whatever. But they are based on they will be for resurfacing projects, for different things that deal with qualified surtax funding. And they're distributed differently amongst the cities. And so I was pulling up some information which didn't match what was said before. Now, the county could have granted some additional dollars, I don't know, but that's typically the way it works. It's not like you name them, they have to actually be approved by the county. So any information about that would be helpful for me to advise you all. That's the first thing, but I wanted to just state a couple of things, and I appreciate the fact that at least to this point, we haven't had, the craziness that's been going on in other commission meetings. And I wanted to take a moment just to kind of reiterate for you all. I know that through the training, we talked about it, through doing the legislation, for those of you who were here, we would have talked about it. But there are certain things that are kind of standard in terms of decorum, and I wanted to read just a few of them for the record. And it states in section 2-26 of the city's code of ordinances, while the city commission is in session, members of the city commission and the public present at the meeting shall not, by conversation or otherwise, delay or interrupt the proceedings or the peace of the city commission. There should be no audience outburst and disruptive conversation from members of the public. It further states that because there are there may be some sentiment that my comments at the very end of the last meeting, because I felt that, basically I was being attacked, and I'm human. So, but I want you all to know that I do have the ability to, in the code, in that same section 2-26 of the code, the city attorney may ask the chair for permission to speak at any time during the meeting. I can do that. That is in your code. And so that is what I did. And, I pretty much said that I am not going to be a doormat for anybody coming here, dumping their stuff on me, because your issues are not with me. You're having a process. I've not been the issue before Ms. Bussey came. You're having a process to determine who your city manager is going to be. That's your process. I'm not going to interfere with your process. I'm going to support her and the things that she's doing, which I have been doing, but I am not going to be a stomping mat for anybody who happens to come here and release all of their vile on you all and me and everything else. I'm not going to do it. So I will probably be in the habit of saying, Mayor, may I respond? Because I'm just not going to do it. In addition to that, that same section says, personal and slanderous remarks. That's what it's entitled. It says, any person making personal, impertinent or slanderous remarks, or who shall become boisterous while addressing the city commission, may be requested to leave the meeting and may be forthwith by the presiding officer barred from further audience being before the commission at the meeting from which the person is ejected. So that is in your code in the same section that I read. So these things, I'm going to at some point, I guess, make a copy of this for the next commission meeting. I'm going to highlight the sections for the mayor that he can utilize. This is, and I've seen Pahokee bad, but this is probably the worst I've seen it. And it's like I said in the last meeting, it really needs to stop. There are a couple of things that I also wanted to bring to your attention that have been, said during the meeting and just misinformation kind of things. And so I wanted to make clear that the issues with I've been asked by one of you whether there's anything in the Inspector General's report or OIG report that has to do with the multiple bank accounts where you have deposited, funds have been deposited, and those funds have been removed or taken by someone. There is nothing like that in any report. And so I want to make clear before that catches fire and goes around the city that the OIG report deals nothing with that. As I've mentioned before, the OIG report really deals with non-compliance issues and how you deal with your financial controls. That's what it deals with. It deals with spending that's done that's not done in accordance with your financial policies. It deals with the lack of training that it discusses for staff members. It deals with things like that. It does not deal with money being inappropriately deposited and taken from the city or any of that. Not to say that the things that it does deal with are not important and significant things. It's just that what is being the misinformation that's going around does not match what the report says, and the report is readily available online for anybody to see.
And Mr. Attorney, could you also mention, and let's put it in layman terms, there's nothing in there in that report that say money was stolen, and that's been going around saying, or money is missing. $2 million is missing.
There's nothing that says that. And I don't know how over months, and I've sat here, you know, and I was thinking maybe it will stop at some point, but I've sat here meeting after meeting after meeting, and pretty much the same people come up and they yell at the mic and they say that this is happening and money was stolen, and they say all kinds of stuff and they just leave it here. And I can only imagine what the community must be thinking if they haven't read the report, which again, you can Google. It's readily available online. You can just put City of Pahokee OIG report in the year 2025, and it will pop right up. So, I don't know why anybody would want the city to look bad, why anybody would want people to see that kind of thing and believe that's who we are. And I say we because I feel like I'm a part of it too, right? So I wanted to bring that to your attention. The other thing is you can expect from me, as I have done with other city managers, it's not anything, I don't have any, when she was appointed, I went over to her immediately. I gave her advice about, what I thought she could do in order to come up to speed very quickly. We talked the next day at length. I gave her a whole long list of things, which included getting support from the League of Cities, talking to the city managers in the local area, going through the contracts immediately, looking at getting the right people in place. We talked, and I gave her a long list of things that she could consider doing. So I have nothing against this manager. You all have seen me. I am consistent when Chandler was here, if he said something that I disagreed with or I thought was wrong, I'd say it in the meeting. I'd say it to him. I write it. I put it in a memo, whatever. When Rodney was here, same thing. Rodney was just say things sometimes. I would correct him on the record. I would make it clear. So I am sitting here as legal counsel. I am not your friend. I'm not your enemy, that's for sure. But I'm here to do a job. And so every time Ms. Bussey calls me, I answer immediately. If I can, I answer, like she called last week. We talked about something. I gave my advice about it, whatever it was. I write back immediately as I can. I respond to her staff. And so I'm doing things that you all don't see, in the meetings. Maybe it looks like I'm just reading the titles, but I'm doing work. The stuff that you see before you is a result of things I've had a hand in. In addition to that, your agendas, I got a question from one of you about, whether there was some confusion about what I put. I don't put things on the agenda. I review the things that go on the agenda. I have nothing to do with your agenda, right? And so I just want to make it clear before that spreads in the community. If you see nothing or if you see a lot, it's not me putting it on there. It would be, if I were going to put something on there, it would be something that had to do with some imminent legal issue that, I would be telling the clerk, which I am allowed to do, but that's not my role here. You get your information from the manager. If you want to see what other cities are doing, you can easily look online. You can Google any city. You can see their agenda. You can see, what kind of things are being brought before commissions at any point during the year. But I don't have anything to do with that. So I want to, just make that clear. I guess I could probably go on for a minute, and I appreciate you all listening to me, but I just want to let you know I'm here to do a job. I'm trying to do it. I don't expect to be yelled at, attacked, lied on, any of that. I just want to do a job, and that's what I've been doing all along. Before Miss Bussey came, and even before she came, you all would try to draw me sometimes in conversation. Isn't this true, city attorney? And I would tell you, I got to work with these people, the clerk and the manager. I don't want any issue. So, look, I put it on the table. That's where I stand. I don't want to be involved in this process of, being where the whatever is happening, it gets shifted to, we're going to just pay attention to everybody and make this not about the city manager, which it is. Your selection process is that. It should not be diverted to me in any way. I don't share any of that. I've been doing a role. I haven't been having a problem. Nobody's been pointed at me. This is what I do every single day for Pahokee and numerous cities. I do it well. I'm a great attorney. Okay, so whatever anybody comes up and says, my reputation stands for itself. After almost 35 years, it stands for itself. So with that, thank you for listening.
Thank you, City Attorney. And we'll move to future agenda items of the commission, if any, and I'll start with Commissioner Scott.
I don't have any.
Vice Mayor Williams.
Yes, at the last meeting, I think all of us forgot to put on for the school that we were supposed to consider for the school, what they're trying to do with the gym. So, for Ms. Johnson for the school, so I want to put that on as a future agenda item about the gym, repairing the gym and the bar. Did we?
A future agenda item.
Guess we put a voted on it. We never got a chance. We didn't put it on.
Yeah, we never
She did
discussed
our
it.
presentation.
That can be addressed tonight.
But that's what she's doing.
But we don't have anything, and we gotta get a resolution or something, I think, for it, or something that we didn't do.
It gotta be a resolution.
She thought it was gonna be.
I
put
thought it
on
was
the
gonna
next
be enough for
agenda
this one.
that
Yeah, that's what we
happened,
thought,
so she
but
just
it was
asking for it
to be put on,
further
cause it wasn't put on for this
maybe
one.
the
We
next
thought it was
agenda.
going to be.
It's something that the manager can bring to you all. You don't even have to, if she has something that she wants considered and she's proposing, then she would, bring it for you all and you bring it as an item. So that's how you could deal with it. If you've been speaking with the young lady about whatever you're proposing, you can bring your proposal and then it will be in a resolution format and then you all can talk about it. So I haven't received anything. I know you talked about something coming to me and I don't have anything. So whatever it is, once they send it to you, Ms. Bussey, you can review it and
And that
decide
has been
what.
the conversation. I spoke to Ms. Johnson, and she's getting her proposal together for her attorney to review, and then we're gonna be sending it to you to be placed on the agenda. But it wasn't on there tonight because that had not been done.
But basically, it's gonna be your recommendation for whatever you're telling the commission. You recommend X, Y, Z, this much more rent, this much more space, whatever you think the contract should be amended to say, I will make sure that it goes within that based on your recommendation, and I'll be happy to speak with the other attorney about, where that might go. But basically, the recommendation in terms of what you believe, based on the budget, based on the use, based on whatever other factors they give you, and you all discuss first, that's what, that's how you'll lay it out, and then you'll send it to me, and I'll figure out how to make it in the contract to meet your expectations so that you can sell it to your commission.
And again, we need to keep in mind, we did make that a legislative priority, the hardening of the gymnasium. So if we do get approved for that, that would have some bearing on Ms. Johnson's request. I don't know how, but we have to figure that out too. You not receive the money, could you use it for that project, or are we gonna continue on, if we are successful, to use the funding to harden the gym, something that she was planning on doing if she got the extension to her contract?
Okay. Yes, I spoke with the lobbyist about that, and it's still going, through the House or whatever, and then that'll be something that, depending on what the decision is, then we will have to look at how to use those funding if Ms. Johnson's project takes care of it. So that's something I'll get back with you on.
And my other item is for a future agenda item,
Before we move, you're saying we don't need to add it on the future agenda? I would
No,
recommend-
sir.
Okay.
Ms. Bussey can
Just wanna
bring
make
back
sure.
what her recommendation is, and then you all can consider her recommendation, and we'll bring it back in a contract form that you can, see if you want to approve or disapprove.
It has to be contract, including the resolution.
A resolution which will include a contract. Yes, sir.
Do we, Ms. Johnson, do you have anything to add with regards to?
I just want to, well, first of all, I appreciate everyone allowing the response attorney I received. Thank you regarding the draft minutes. And I shared that information with the necessary parties. We actually went in and did a visual tour of the location. And I'm in the process, we're doing our due diligence to proceed to give the recommendation to Ms. Bussey. And as I said, on Monday morning, my leadership will be here at the school, and I would just give them a visual of the location. They will see that as well. We are going through the necessary steps, and this person who came the visual was someone who deals with real estate. The other person I will be talking with will be someone who is from the construction industry part of it. So I am moving with that to create a proposal based upon their findings, okay? And I think from my understanding, it probably will be ready, at least a proposal to give to Ms. Bussey for the March meeting. That's our plan.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for that update.
Okay. And again, I said the leadership on Monday, I'm sorry, at about 9:30. If someone could be there from the city, just to greet some of the individuals who may be potential supporters of the city. Okay, they're not just solely Everglades Prep or Glades Academy. Okay, this is something we're trying to attract us as true partners and one who would be interested in anyone coming to help our city, the city of Pahokee.
Okay. Vice Mayor have a second.
I was just still wondering if we can still get a copy of all the contracts to come to make sure that, so we can look at the ones that have expired to see if those are some contracts we need to look at where they are, and the ones that are coming up. At the next, if we can do that at the next meeting.
That's a day-to-day operation.
You made a comment, Ms. Bussey?
No, sir, it's not important.
Yes.
I have a problem with this part of the commission where we have to vote on, just because a commissioner wants something on the agenda, we have to vote on it to get it on there. To me, that don't really make sense, and I'm gonna say why.
It make a lot of sense.
No, wait, let me finish. Let me tell you why I think that it don't make sense. Because the city manager, we're her supervisor, and she put on there what she wanted, and we don't have to vote on it. The clerk or anyone else put anything else, it's stuff that done been put on there since I've been sitting here, we ain't vote on it, it just shows up on there. But it ain't came before the dice. And we haven't voted on it, but when I get to the city council meeting next week, it's in the package. I'm like, so why is it that everything we do, it need to be voted on? But when someone else do it, it just get in the package.
Part of her responsibility is setting the agenda. Now, to give us some input and put in things that we would like to see on there, we have an opportunity to add recommendation or suggestions. Now, you say it don't make any sense for us to approve it, though. You can set up there at each commission meeting and want 10 items on there, maybe 20. And I can do the same thing. When would it stop? So
It's gonna stop
what we
at 2.
doing?
It can stop at 2 like we already agreed and voted on. We can stop at 2.
So
Don't say that it's talking about 20. But this is what I'm saying is that, I'm just saying, just because commissioners say, well, I like to see this on the agenda, why do we have to go through the voting thing when no one else has to do it?
Mr. Mayor, I could try to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
What some smaller cities do is, because your staff is limited, so you don't have a lot of items that are coming that may not, because they have to spend, a lot of time is spent on the
Right.
front end on these items and preparing them and researching them and trying to figure it out. And so if everybody had 2 items a meeting or up to 2 items a meeting, they wouldn't be able to get anything else done. So what the future, a lot of cities have future agenda item on their agendas, and it allows you to know that you have a consensus before you bring the items. And so if you have 3 of you saying, yes, we approve this going forward, and it's a substantive, piece of legislation that has to be written or whatever else, then it's not a strain on your staff because they have time to prepare it. And then they also have, time to make sure that it comes to all of you all in advance of the meeting. It's not a surprise. It's, it's well researched. And so that's why particularly,
Sound nice, but understand what I'm saying is that I totally understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, just because the commission asks to have something put on the agenda, if they choose whatever, like, I guess I've seen it with other commissioners, where one of them wanted something on, they always voted them down. And when I think any commission should have the right to have something put on the agenda. So they decide, those folks decided, well, okay, I don't care what Scott asked for, we ain't putting it on. And it's not gonna get on, because they're not gonna vote for it. And I feel like, I'm just saying, I feel like I have the same right to have something put on the agenda, without having the consent. And I think, we can vote to limit it to 1 thing or 2. I agree with that. But I don't agree with, you telling me when I can and can't do it. When everybody, I have sat here and seen, we come back with proclamations and all kind of stuff that, we ain't voted on that. We don't even know where that comes from. It just shows up. Now, whose idea is that? The public ain't know nothing about it, because I know I didn't know nothing about it. But that happens every week. So I'm just saying, to me, I don't have 1 vote, but I'm just still saying, to me, it really don't make sense. So, if some of y'all like to do it, then we can continue to do it, but I'm just saying, I don't want to agree with it. You can go ahead, I'm done.
Vice Mayor, you had another suggestion.
I did, we was on the floor talking about the contracts, that was one of the
The
items.
attorney saying that right now don't even need to be
That was
as
the
an agenda item.
Bring
That's
all
why-
contracts,
Huh?
all the contracts.
Okay.
So my first one would be to bring all contracts back to the next commission meeting to make sure that we look at them before they expire, the ones that have not expired. And the ones that have
So
expired.
you're basically saying that's the commission role we need to be looking at? As a commission as a whole, we need to review them, or that's a day-to-day operation type of thing. I'm just trying to get clear. It doesn't saying we should look at all the contracts to determine whether they expired or not, and then move.
Because don't we have to vote on them? Even when they come up for renewal, we still have to vote on them. So if we at least have the contracts and we can look at them in a timely manner. Because we still have to vote on the contracts, even though it's a day-to-day operation and the manager puts them together, we still gotta end up voting on them. So I would prefer to see them prior to, and at least.
Is there a second on that?
Okay, well, my second item is that we can start the interviewing process on March 24th. And the reason that I'm saying that is because we have a resolution that we did on September the 30th where we hired the interim manager, and in that resolution, it said that it was for 90 days. So right now, we're not even abiding by the resolution that we put in place, and so because we're over the 90 days, we're going to now have to start paying. So that's my next item.
City Attorney, that's in the resolution that after 90 days, there's an increase in salary?
Well, actually, that's in your charter. Yeah, so your charter requires like a month after so much time passes, and I don't know what the scale is, but it may be 90 days, then you pay a month, and then another however many months, then you pay another month of severance. That's what, I think that's what Vice Mayor may be responding.
Yes, that's what I'm responding to.
I think even the city manager, most of the time, the service is only normally like 3 months total.
Well, that's what it requires. I can see if there's a difference between the interim and the manager, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it's in there.
There's
We'll
a
pass the
chart
90
specifically
days.
for inter-city manager. It
Yes.
tells you after 90 days, they get X amount after a specific chart.
I know the majority of the city managers, the interim we've had to work.
It's in the
But
chart.
I would
I'm
say
not
it's minimum
disputing it,
in the charter.
I'm just making a comment. Have been on the job for almost, if not a year, close to a year.
It does.
I don't know if we had interim in Teresa during that time, but
There's a section 2-98, and section 2-98 of the code, and it applies to city severance pay, and 0 to 180 days, none, 181 days to a year, 1 month, and then greater than a year, 3 months. So that's what it says. And it says in order to be eligible for the severance, it has some other stuff.
that right there, city attorneys, from 180 days to a year is only a month serving pay.
That's what it looks like.
That's not a stream issue to me.
Okay.
I know the majority
That's what it
of
says.
the interims have worked it up to a year. So to have to pay them a month's salary if you terminate them or if they don't receive the job, I don't see that being a real issue. I'm not saying we can't go forward with the dates, but part of my item that I wanted to put on there to have this really extended a little, so we can give the person the opportunity to show a little more than maybe what's have been done previously. That's just a thought of mine. But if you want to use that as a date, if you want to use it as your motion, it's okay.
Go ahead.
Commissioner McDonough.
So, there's just a few more days left in this month. And, I didn't see anything with regards to the partnership requests from the UNCF. So I want to, ask that we follow up regarding that, because I think that is going to be, a good partnership that we can enter into.
Second.
Been moved in second that we add to our future agenda item, the partnership with UNCF. Been properly moved in second. Call for question. Ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Mayor Bowden.
Yes. Motion passed.
And also, just one other thing, in continuing with Black History Month, next month is Women's History Month. So I want to see if we can identify maybe some event that we can use to recognize and congratulate women in our community with regards to Women's History Month.
There's a second to that motion.
Second.
Been moved in second. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Before you go,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, would this be a resolution approving Women's History Month for a certain date and time? And, I mean, are you going to will you give the additional information to the manager, or do you want to state it here? Because I don't really know what to put in the resolution.
I'll have a conversation with her, and we'll see where that conversation leads.
Okay.
I just think that,
So
it would
to
be-
do something to commemorate Women's History Month, to do an event, in other words, right?
Not necessarily an event, but to recognize some individuals that are deserving of the recognition with regards to the celebration of women.
Ready for a vote? You was clear on what she's asking, need?
My understanding, she will speak with the
Yeah, I'm
manager,
gonna-
so when the resolution comes back, it will come back and, it could be a proclamation, it could be a resolution to commemorate it in some other way, but you'll let the manager know and she'll tell me.
Ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Bowden.
Yes. Motion passed by unanimous vote. That's it, Commissioner McDonald.
Yes.
I would like to add for a future agenda item that we reopen the city manager posting for 60 days, an additional 60 days, to allow others an opportunity to at least apply. And/or we direct HR to contact previously interviewed applicants who may not be aware that they didn't have to reapply or resubmit an application if they had one on file for the interim city manager position, to allow them to be interviewed just as an option. I think our pool is only 4 now, between 3 and 4. Most of our applicants, we've had at least a dozen or more. So I just think just to have a broader pool, that would help.
A second.
It has been moved in second. Call for question.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, there are some questions with regards to the validity of one of the applications. And I think that we need to resolve all questions regarding that before we are considering opening it up for additional candidates.
at the last commission meeting, that same question came up. It wasn't, we didn't put anything on the table to say that it should be voted on up or down. We didn't see an issue with it. The HR said that the person had their application in on time. The other question was whether or not some additional information was provided, say like the attachment of the resume. That was there already, but it wasn't previously given to the commission, and that was then in turn given to the commission. So I don't know where the discrepancy is coming in. It's almost seeming like we're trying to eliminate people instead of trying to add.
So, there have been new developments with regards to whether or not the application was received during the period of time when it should have been.
So was a new development.
So,
And who shared the new development?
some information came from the IT person. And all I'm saying is that we need to make sure that the applications that have been received are valid.
But the IT person stated that it wasn't accurate, that he did not change her email address, and it never has been changed. And she stated the reason that she pulled the application up 4 months later is because her email was changed, and he said that wasn't accurate. That her email never been changed.
So bottom line, lay person is, what are you saying?
What I'm saying, she was
What are you
lying. She was
suggesting?
lying.
Huh?
She was lying. Plain English, she was straight lying. Because here's the thing about it: when the IT person look at it and states that he did not change her email address. Her email address never was changed. She stood right there and said the reason that he was transferring over because she got a different email. He said no, that never happened. Okay.
I'm trying to, supposedly there was an email sent.
So is it a way that we can get, is it a way that the commission can get a copy of the, is there like a confirmation that the HR person get, that the commission can be provided to see when the application was actually submitted, and so that we all can see what the submission date was, because the computer should have that information on it. So is it possible any kind of way that the commission can get that and we can see it to verify when the application actually came in?
Yeah.
Do you have that information? Or we can be provided that?
No, not on paper. We need to see it on the computer. Give your computer, let her open up and show it on her. Let us see it on her email address, not on paper. That's anybody do. Anybody.
On my laptop.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You have, you can give me a copy, get a copy of what you
on the
have.
laptop.
On top of that, that applicant, she has her own receipt from when the email received.
So if we don't have, I mean, so I don't know, will we be out of line, I guess? If we can some kind of way get the applicant's information? I mean, because if we saying what she have, that's
I mean,
not.
it's in the package.
Bottom line too, though, we have an HR person here who's paid and certified to do this type of work. She say this application was submitted on
And she
time.
also said that her email address was changed.
I never said my email address was changed. I said I was creating another email. I
I'm
have
done.
2 email accounts that I have
You
right
didn't
now
state
on my
that.
computer.
You did not say that last week.
I have 2 email accounts.
Can we pull that up where she was talking at, I think it was like 136 or something. Pull up and see what she said. You did not say that. You sat there and stated that your email address was changed. You had to change it because you couldn't, and then when he changed it over, your stuff didn't come over. And you just found out after the same thing Mayor Bab just done. He just asked for 60 days. The last time it was voted down. Then the next day, it started going around, oh, we got another applicant. But we didn't, I'm like, Because I even went back and see the other meetings where Commissioner Kyle was telling the clerk that she requested about the about how many applicants we had. And I'm like, this crazy.
Also, I did have an A&R that those applicants
Okay, listen,
who
Mrs.
originally
Stone,
applied
listen, Miss,
be allowed to
excuse me.
at least
What's
be
your name?
interviewed if that's their desire.
Hello.
Because we say that in a commission meeting.
All right,
We didn't vote on that. I don't think we voted
because y'all
on
already got your mind made up.
I don't think
So
we
what
voted
we'll
on
do, what we'll do is that I like to make a motion that we withdraw the application. They throw the application out because it wasn't on time. Because just like I know you were sitting there and you heard what she said.
You have absolutely no proof, James, that
I
that
went by what
application.
IT man say. What IT man say. So he only been here 10 years. So if he don't know who stuff he serviced, did he send you that in writing, Mr. McDonough?
You're gonna sit here and be willing to take an applicant
Right. If that
out,
wasn't in on time, you're right.
and you got proof that that's the case.
So we can table that until we get to the bottom of it.
Oh, you ain't gonna get to the bottom because wasn't they consistent on telling hers? I just don't. I just feel sorry for you, Ms. Buster. I'm here to tell you. I feel sorry for you. I don't know how you do it.
And I do want to say something, if I may, Mayor, if I may, or I can wait till later. I just wanted to clear up about the thing with Ms. Gooding as far as the, the quote that you made, when she sent me back an email. I think it was, she was gonna do $120 an hour, and the LA was gonna do $150 an hour. And it was just, we had talked about doing some things to fill in for the finance director, and so, she never, got a chance to come back. When I had come to a meeting and I didn't have it on the agenda, and so she emailed me that because it wasn't on the agenda, she would no longer be working for the city, that I could pay her for the 26th and the 29th. So that's how that ended. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Mr. Mayor, you're on future agenda items right now.
Yes, right. I made the motion. I'm just looking for a second, if there's a second.
I second it.
Okay, it has been moved in second that we reopen the city manager applicants for a total of 60 days. Call for questions. Hearing none, you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Bab,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
No.
Commissioner McPherson,
No.
Commissioner Scott,
No.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams.
No.
Okay, motion declined. All right. And we move to Commissioner McPherson, if you have anything to add.
Hopefully, I want to be a problem solver. Just want to ask for a future agenda item, but I might need to run this past the attorney before I ask it. As far as budget amendments, can we put that on as a future agenda item?
You could, normally the manager would be bringing that back, but you could put it on as for the things that are outside of whatever the parameters are of what you've done so far. And if you get a second on it, then the manager would create the amendment.
Well, I would like to put a future agenda item that we bring the budget and make the amendments. We voted as far as the person that's going to be doing the audit findings, to make sure that money is allocated properly in the budget, as well as I think there was an issue about the position. The money was in there for the grant writer, but I guess the person that's been hired put that on the agenda so we can go ahead and improve it and make it right and move forward.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm sorry, but can you say that again?
The questions about the budget came up about the person that we had, the finance person that we had that's going to help us with the audit, that we put that on the future agenda item, the budget, and make the necessary amendments in the budget to correct, make sure those things are in line with our budget, as well as the position that was the grant writing position that was
Amended.
yes, and
modified.
amend those things and cover, make sure that they're covered in our budget. Let's just fix stuff and move on.
Was that a motion you said?
Yes.
Sorry, okay,
It
second,
is.
second.
Been moved in second. Call for questions. Hearing none, are you ready for a vote? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Bowden.
Yes, motion passed by unanimous vote. Next, we'll have general public comments.
Before we go to the public comments, can I make a motion?
Motion on what? I'm not sure.
Can I make a motion?
Motion on what? I just need, make sure it's a proper, you're saying you just want to make a motion. Is it a future agenda item?
No.
So that's what we're on, and we're moving now.
No,
to- So you just, out of the blue, you just want to say, can I make a motion?
Yes.
You can do it on your time.
Mr. Just to answer the question, because it's a legal question, not at this time, because you, right now, you're under future agenda items, and so that's what's on your
We
agenda.
getting ready to go to public comments,
And after that,
so
you can say,
that's no longer on future
Right,
agenda items.
but what I'm
We
saying
in
is,
between.
and I'll let the mayor finish, but you, not even in between, that's the whole point of the future agenda items, so you're not making motions on issues or voting on issues that are not on the agenda and that haven't been publicly noticed, and so it's how your code of ordinances works.
Okay, I'll take that on the advisement. Thank you.
And we'll move to general comments, public comments, items not on the agenda. City clerk, do we have at this time any public service or public comments cards?
Just, we have a public comment card from Susan Gooding.
I should say good evening, Madam,
evening.
Mr. Mayor,
Good evening.
Vice Mayor, Commissioner, City Attorney, Interim City Manager, City Clerk, members of the listening audience. I am just here, my name is Susan Gooding Liebert, and I'm going to give my company name. It's Government Finance Tutoring LLC. And I was recently the financial consultant for the city of Pahokee. I just want to come here tonight to clear up some misunderstanding that was said at the February 17th special meeting. And I recently heard the interim city manager corrected herself, where my contract with the city was at $80 an hour, not $120 an hour. And I'm going to go back and give you some history. I've heard some comments tonight, and sometimes you have to speak up and stand up for yourself. So I was hired by the city in 2019, October 2019, to come in and help the city of Pahokee with their audit. They were 2 years behind. 2018, 2019, 2017, 2018. I came in October 19. So if you can put those dates in perspective, if you are consistently 2 years behind conducting an audit, how do you correct the prior audit findings. So, October 2019, audit 17-18 audit was issued February 20, in the year February 2020. We finished the 2017-2018 audit. What was 2020? That was COVID. 2 years behind. I came in here and helped the city to accomplish that. On August of that same year, during COVID, 2020, we also completed the 2018-2019 audit. So you want to know what the financial consultant was doing at that time? I came in here to assist the city in bringing them up. I think Mayor Bass is the only one from the prior commission that is still here. Most of the employees that are currently at the city, the economic department, one person from the financial services department, or the finance department as we will call it, is still there from that time period. You have lost staff, you have lost finance director, you have lost city manager, you have lost economic development director, but yet you are still holding the financial consultant to make sure that these audits come in on time, when you are already 2 years behind. 2019 to 2020 audit was completed in March of 2022. And if many of you who are members of the commission during the prior sitting board of the city of Pahokee, when the doors were being locked at City Hall, staff could not get in to do work. No finance director there to give the financial consultant the information to assist the city. But yet, the audit of 19 to 20, we completed in March of 2022. The FY 2021 audit, we completed in November 2024. Consistent with all of these changes, personnel not there, we still move ahead and completed the audit. 2021-2022 audit was completed of June 2024. And 2022, I need some more time, if that's the time. 2022 audit, 2023, completed December 2024. So if you can go back, these 2 years back audit and helping the city was done in record time to make sure that the city move forward. Record time. And if you go back to when I became the financial consultant there, you would see in your audit report 0 findings, because at that time they had a qualified financial, a CPA there helping the financial department. Go back to your audit report, the one that was recently issued. You have 2010 findings, 2011 findings, 2014 findings. How do you expect a financial consultant who does not have access to your bank account, your accounting record, only the information that has been provided in your file? Recommendations will be made, nothing done. I met with the interim city manager because she was introduced to me by the HR director. Met with her 2025. She came in October 2025, met with her maybe in November, December, had a sit-down talk. What do you do? How often do you come in here? I am only here when working with the finance director, when the finance director needs to do the city's audit. The city's books close September 30th of each year. The auditor gets in here around February of the following year. The report is to be done by June of the following year. I think I have more than satisfied my role as the financial consultant with the city. Go back 2 years behind, during COVID, during administration going, and still was able to get the city up to the recent 2024 where they were on time. But you expect a consultant to go back and bring 2 years up. You cannot perform next year's audit until the following year audit is completed. The city attorney can tell you that. You cannot complete 18-19 unless 17-18 is finished, and you close the books.
Thank you, Ms. Gooding.
So I just need to come here to clear up something. Sat with Miss Bussey, discussed that, interviewed by her, interviewed by Mrs. Diver, whoever that person is, asked of all of my credentials and my references. When the current or the past finance director, Mr. Joseph Martin, handed in his resignation, Miss Bussey called me. Miss Susan, can you come in and sit into the seat as interim finance director? All this time, I've been sending her my agreement because I've been letting her know that the agreement expired and I do not have one, and I will not continue working because of all of those comments from the Auditor General regarding you have to follow your policy. Anything over 10,000 need to come to the commission. I could have seen the signs. I already saw. She did not take it. Even if there were errors in the agreement, promised that she would take it there. None was done. Sat again with her on January 16th when she told me about the resignation of Mr. Joseph. Can you sit in? I said, yes, I can. I will be there on January 26th because Mr. Martin left on January 23rd.
Okay.
I just want to correct that. Came in, sat there. I said, what time would you like me to be there? She said 9 o'clock in the morning. I was there 9 o'clock. You can ask all of the staff there. 9 o'clock on Monday the 26th, 9 o'clock on Tuesday the 27th. I expected at least my agreement to come to the, okay, no, it didn't go. I told her that I have prior engagement. I will be leaving on the 29th. I said I will work 3 days, the 26th, 27th, 28th. The HR director is here. I came in that Monday morning and I asked, okay, can I have access to the information? Could you please send an email? She sent an email to the interim city manager, responded that yes, she will take care of that with the IT so I could have access. I did not see her on that Monday. And I understand because she had meetings, she had businesses. She have a role to do. But she never came to that office to knock to say, Miss Susan, are you there? I'm not sure if she asked any of the employees, but to say that Miss Susan, she have not seen Miss Susan.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gooding. I heard what you said. No,
Okay?
no, you all, hold on a second,
So
let me say
the 27th, I was there.
Ms. Gooding, you sent me an email. I didn't terminate you. You sent me an email and said you no
Okay,
longer.
we'll get to
no,
that, Ms.
no,
Bessie.
and
Give me
I didn't
my
ask you to be interim city manager. What I asked you to
Give
do,
me
hold on
my
a second.
minute.
No, your minute is up because you're not
No.
gonna stand there and lie.
No.
You said to me, no.
excuse
Let
me.
me just say this.
Just
No.
give me my minute. Mr. Mayor, city man, I'm just
No,
asking for my
see,
time.
they are, y'all all
I am
talking,
just asking
you all
for my
talking
time.
after
Okay,
hours about stuff. I already know
Okay?
this.
So,
But no.
on Tuesday,
Well.
on Tuesday, January 27th, when the commission meeting is supposed to be done, I could tell you, I sat in the office with Ms. Bussey. I said, I've actually I've actually called the consultant to go over the OIG, the state report that we're still pending on with the guys B75. We sat down. There is a memo issued to her telling you all of the things I've done that day, Tuesday, the 27th. A memo that she was going to give to the commission. Not sure if you guys have received it. I came in again on the 28th, and nothing was done as far as giving me access, so I only worked 4 hours.
Okay, thank you.
And I sent the email, I sent the email to Ms. Bussey on 2, I think it was 2/17, that same day the meeting was, when I found out that she did not take my agreement to the, I told her I could not work
Thank you, Ms.
without an
Susan.
agreement.
We have it on
But that's,
record.
I just needed to say my piece.
Right, I
It
understand,
had been my pleasure to
Okay.
at least serve the city of Pahokee.
and we appreciate
I think
that,
I've
and
done
I
well.
thank you for your
And I thank
service.
you, Ms. Bussey, for the opportunity, but I just needed to make sure that I put on the record what is correct.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, before we go any further, when I got there, when I got there in October, I hardly saw her. I had to call for her. But even that, she did, you know, she worked. When Mr. Martin resigned, I asked her, it was one or two things that the assistant finance director couldn't do because of the, you know, contradictory. She couldn't approve what she was writing checks on. So I asked Ms. Gooding, would she come and do those things? And so long story short, because she took up enough time, she sent an email saying that she couldn't work anymore.
Could I ask you a question, though?
Mm-hmm.
What was Mr. Martin notes or comments why he resigned?
I don't know. Do you know?
He said you was totally responsible for his resignation because you refused to follow internal management, financial management practice. You initiated debit cards, and he pleaded with you as a finance director with all the problem we've been having in our finance department. You went ahead and still did it. I know you say that you canceled them and didn't use them and all of that. I don't see it in writing, but you did verbally say that. But you was the reason why he's no longer with us.
Okay,
And the other financial person left basically because of you. Two financial peoples, and we're in dire need of people that been here that know how to fix some things that we're in without having to figure out what we're doing.
Okay, to answer that is that Mr. Martin, he probably did resign because of the change in internal controls. Because I was trying to correct some things that had happened in the past, and I streamlined the process. Some people get on board, some people, they resist. A lot of people don't like change. So if you all are trying to use me as a scapegoat, it's not gonna happen. Because I'm doing what I've been asked to do while I'm here, although I gotta fight every meeting against all of this. Because you all sit here and do an evaluation of me every meeting instead of telling the public
Not
what
you all,
you've
the
done.
mayor.
I don't know where you're saying the mayor. If you look at, Ms. Buster been here for 4 months. Look at all the meetings. I haven't really criticized her at basically at all.
Every meeting.
All right. We know you're a fan, so.
I got a question.
You don't know what I am.
I have a question. We throwing all these allegations out. Specifically, what does our policy say? Matter of fact, I've already requested the information from the clerk, and she's getting me that information. Because I don't like making decisions on hearsay. I like to have stuff in black and white. If we're gonna do things, let's look at our policies and see what our policies say. You know, before we just be making accusations.
And what's that
What
regarding?
accusations are you referring to, though? I don't understand.
No, everybody making in this windows and.
No, I asked about the
I'm
reason
just-
why
I'm
Mr.
not
Martin's
pointing my-
resignation. It's only, we got
Yeah,
to
Mr. Martin
receive the,
he said that.
okay, okay.
but My
Thank
thing
you.
is, if I'm gonna accuse a person of violating internal policies, I'm gonna quote what that policy is. And he stated that on this thing, and
So that one time he was concerned with
and I wasn't
violating
gonna even
policy.
say anything about that, because I was trying to get the policies
That one
and read them
time.
for myself.
So much so that he resigned.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you gotta
City
operate
clerk, do we
according to our
have
policies.
any additional comments, Card?
No, Mayor Bell.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, for comments of the city commission for the good of the order, and I'll start with Commissioner Mike Pearson this time.
No comment.
Commissioner Mike Donald.
I'm going to be consistent in my efforts to encourage everybody in this room and those that are not here to get on board with Progress Pahokee, because that is certainly my intent. at some point in time, we gotta realize when it's time to take this city forward, and now is as good a time as any. For whatever the reason, we got some things that we still need to work out, but I'm on board with it. I'm a team player, and I'm gonna lead the charge. So whatever it is that we need to do as a team, let's do it. Let's get out of our own way, because I see that as being the biggest part of the problem. Not pointing the finger at anyone, because we can all take responsibility for our own actions. I do want to see that happen. I'm here for the time that I'm going to be here, and I'm going to stand on what it is I feel I need to stand on with regards to Progress Pahokee. So I welcome any and all of you to get on board with that, and in doing so, we can get some things accomplished.
Vice Mayor.
I just want to say good night and thanks everyone for listening.
Commissioner Scott.
I'm just to the point to where I do want to see the city move forward, but it's hard when you come here and everybody's so divided. You know, I like I told him, I came in here, I decided to become a commissioner because honestly, I thought McPherson and Commissioner Cowan was on the right track. I wasn't even thinking about being no commissioner, but you know, unfortunate things happen. But I was encouraged because I thought, you know, we just gonna go ahead and do this. But I see now that other people got some things that, for some reason, it's just they can't see themselves voting for Ms. Bussey to be no city manager. I don't know what they know about her, what she done to them, and I'm having a problem with that. And because I'm like, this really ain't making sense, you know, because if she had done some in the past, then I can understand. But I don't get it. I'm saying about acclimacy. Why is everybody so angry about Ms. Bussey? You know, cause when I first, we first voted her in, trust me, I got some people said some stuff to me like, I'm like, I said, man, you crazy. I said, I don't even know the lady like that. I just thought she had a nice interview. And I was for people from, I'm gonna say it again, I'm for people from Pahokee. That's just me, I'm sorry. You know, but I can't see how nobody can't see what she's doing every day. But nobody, I guess we just gonna walk around here and close our eyes like if she's not doing anything.
James, list a few. Just name something that
she ran them off to you.
I'm talking about you.
No, I'm just saying, but she ran them off to you, all the stuff that she was working on. But you talking about 100 days. Wait a minute, hold on, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna list one every time you list me something that the last two previous city managers done. I list for something she done, and they was here for a year or something, 2 years. Now you tell me what they done, and I tell you what she done. Okay, that's the end of that conversation. But that's what I'm trying to say. So, Ms. Bussey, you know what you want to do is just hold your head up and continue to do what you do. If they decide not to make you the city manager, just walk away proudly. You know, hey, you gave it y'all. Just like that's where I feel. I feel like when I walk away from here, I know when I came up here, I gave them all. It wasn't prejudice in no kind of way towards no one or anything. You know, I don't have a hidden agenda. I'm not trying to provoke you from doing anything or searching anywhere. So some of us got some other things in our bag that we don't want this public to know about. I'm just being real with y'all. So, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and fight me if I say the wrong thing. Good night. Y'all have a nice time. Yeah.
I entertain a motion for the adjournment.
Yeah, I second.
So moved.
Been moved to second. Call for question. Hearing none. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Excuse me, who seconded? Who seconded?
Miss
Mayor Bell?
Commissioner Scott.
Mr. Scott? Okay. Please
Commissioner
forgive me.
Scott made it. Commissioner
motion,
McDonald
McDonald
seconded.
Okay,
No.
Mayor Bell?
No,
I made the motion.
But
Right, she made the motion.
Well,
Commissioner McDonald made the motion.
it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Mayor Bell?
Yes.
Excuse me. Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner McPherson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Calvin Williams,
Yes.
and Mayor Bell.
Thank you.
Okay.
Meeting adjourned at 8:38 PM.